football tree. What the hell's a tree out?
Try out, you have a meatball.
Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry, Rob, and Caleb here. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
And we have a special guest in the house, in the podcast palace today. Another one of the fruit of Rob's loins.
Wow. That could have been worded so much better. Yeah.
We have Casey Mixon with us. Boomer Casey.
Boomer, guys.
So we're coming at you
from the Father-Son podcast, right? Father-Sons.
Yeah. We're coming at you from the podcast palace in beautiful Norman, Oklahoma.
Where we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left. And we need you to follow, subscribe, and
hit that like button.
Hit that like button.
Unsubscribe, resubscribe, unsubscribe. It helps. Gives you extra numbers.
Oh, okay. See, Caleb just teaching us how to cheat.
Oh, yeah. Life hacks.
Yeah. But also remember to go check out tailgateconnect.com. You can sign up for the UCLA Oklahoma game tailgate that Dan, the tailgater from Tailgate Connect, is putting on. Cost is $40. There is a code that you can put in. We don't know what that code is because we're just not very good advertisers. So, but anyway, but it's $40. It's all you can eat, drink, and be merry with. So make sure.
And it's beef tri-tips, right?
Yeah, beef tri-tips is the main course.
Sounds delicious.
And
that sounds good.
There will be, I know he's set something up with a vodka distillery that there's going to be a lot of vodka there.
That sounds less good.
Oh, boy.
So, and also remember, Friday night, April the 12th at Louis Grill and Bar on Campus Corner. You can come out and join us and a host of other Sooner fans for the spring game pregame event. And it's just, hey, we'll probably do some podcasts, maybe do a couple of videos, but it's mainly just for Sooner fans to come out, have something to do, and just have fun getting ready for the game. Good food, good drinks, good people there at Louis on Campus Corner.
You said that we're going to have a speaker out there too, right?
Yeah, we'll be doing, if we do podcasts, it'll be over the PA, so you can sit down and talk with us, or we may just throw people out there and let them do it.
Yeah, come out. I'll get y'all. Well, have a beer together. It'll be fun.
Just one, right? Now,
yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Caleb had an interesting night last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. From what I remember.
Oh, Lord.
Are you still, kind of feeling the effects of that?
A little bit. I mean, yeah. The vodka waters are no joke. Like, I think I'm good. Next thing I know, I wake up next morning. I'm like, what happened last night?
Because Caleb is on a diet.
Yeah.
And so he's been reframing.
I don't drink beer. I don't drink anything else. No soda. So
vodka waters.
Vodka waters.
That's a good way to stay drunk while dieting.
Yeah.
I guess.
So
no carbs, no sugar. So
all I know is that I got up this morning. I go in the kitchen to make coffee. And Teresa we watched some movies last night. Teresa had made some popcorn, and all over the kitchen floor there's popcorn.
Yep. And then there's Caleb on there.
Almost.
And there's Chex Mix and pieces of Dorito.
Yeah, so I cheated on my diet a little bit last night. I got drunk. A little bit. I actually
no, but here's the best one.
Yeah.
Tell them what else you did.
So I actually ordered some Pickleman's pizza from Postmates because I was drunk. I was like, I'm gonna get some of this. And then,
and when you're drunk, you're not on a diet.
Yeah, I foresee passing out before it gets here.
I did, but I waited an hour and a half before it got there. I watched The Little Giants, and The Little Giants was over before it got there, and I fell asleep. And then I woke up this morning. They charged me for it. I got some email saying I didn't get my pizza, and they're like, "All right, well, I see you guys miss each other, so we're gonna refund you your money. Thank you, Postmates, for that." And I was. I waited an hour and a half though for pizza and didn't get there.
But the question was, as he asked me and Teresa, was, did y'all hear the doorbell ring last night?
At like 4 a.m.
Yeah, 4 a.m. I mean, yeah.
No, I bet they didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be my first cheat meal in a long time, so I was looking forward to it. But
I do not believe that.
no, it is. I've been really good on it.
Yeah,
It's been hard, especially when I go out on Thursdays. It's been real hard those days, and but
the funniest one though is one morning I get up and Caleb and a friend are asleep on the couch.
What was his name?
Eli.
No.
Oh boy.
Well,
You t-balled that one.
yeah, I did, but
I had to.
But actually, that does happen because we'd prefer their friends to stay here
go
and sleep
out.
on the couch than try to venture home.
Okay,
but this
that makes-
happened to be a friend of the female species, and but
Were you shocked?
but I go and the microwave is beeping, beep, beep, and I open up the microwave and there's this giant plate of Tostino's pizza rolls in there that they had both tossed in the microwave to snack on. It's been about a year ago.
Yeah.
But there was, this cold plate of Tostino's pizza rolls that they nuked in the
Which
microwave.
friend was this?
Oh, it just went
Remember?
blank.
Was it Nathan?
No, it was a girl.
It was a female. You
Girl.
just said
Oh,
that.
jeez.
I know it's blowing your mind, right?
Oh, yeah, right. That's wow.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna. I promise. I'm gonna keep taking jabs at you.
I walked
promise.
into it. That's fine. I walked into it too.
I can't think of her name. I can see her face. She worked with you at 7-Eleven.
Oh, Miranda.
Yeah, Miranda.
Okay,
there
yeah.
we go.
So I see a couple things wrong with that. One, what kind of communist nukes pizza rolls?
Yeah, well,
You put them in the oven.
Well, I didn't want to burn a house down because I was drunk, so I was scared of falling asleep. Because I've done it before. I fell asleep, and luckily the parents woke up and they found the pizza rolls like burning. So,
In the oven.
I was trying to be safe at least and make them in the microwave.
And then you wasted them.
Yep, I wasted them.
So that makes you two
He may-
flavors
he-
of Monster.
Now, back then, he may have ate them later on in the day.
Very possible. Yes.
I mean, I don't blame you. They're pizza rolls,
Yeah,
okay?
they're
I
amazing.
definitely don't blame you.
Which brings up, okay, y'all have seen the scandal, college admission scandal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
did
have-
you the heiress? I saw. I think it was yesterday morning. They were showing the people that are being tried, other than Aunt
Aunt Becky,
Becky.
super hot.
Wait, are you about to say the heiress to the Totinos?
It's the Hot Pockets heiress.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody knew that was going to happen.
But she paid $500,000 for her kid to be I think it was a volleyball
Scholarship. And then
athlete
she-
being recruited to get her preferential
She,
treatment.
the one kid that was like 5'5" and she got a basketball scholarship at USC.
But that makes sense, though. I mean,
Yeah.
Hot Pockets are not good, and anybody who's been to school knows that, and that's why she's paying her way
The,
through. You know it.
The best one was Dr. Dre last week. So my girl got a scholarship to USC and we didn't pay nothing for it. And then someone dug up a tweet and said, yeah, he donated
$90 million. Yeah, I saw that.
Then he tweeted his tweet after that.
Yeah.
There's
Also
just a
another,
building named after you there.
Yeah.
Also another dark night too is when you saw me and Eli. He had chili.
Yeah.
And he fell asleep with the chili and it's like this. He passed out with a
Laying
bowl of chili
laying on the couch with his legs crossed and a bowl of chili in his hand.
in his palm. And he fell asleep like that.
That just, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster.
He didn't though. Like he
Yeah,
I think he
I'm
woke up.
impressed.
Listen.
I think he woke up and he just ate the rest of it though.
If you guys do that in front of me, I'm drawing a mustache. I'm just saying.
I mean, if it's just a mustache, then thanks for not being too brutal. Then it could be a lot worse than that.
What are you going to draw
Oh,
this mustache?
boy.
Every person in here's got one.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's going to be a different color. Then.
It's going to be on your forehead.
Also, the
little
heads up
face
people,
right
we're watching the Cardinals game right now. I'm a big Cardinals fan. So if you hear me yell for no reason at all, that's the reason why. Because it's a close game right now. So it's a heads up to everyone listening that you could get a yell going at any moment.
We did that the other night watching the Sooners Cowboys game.
Yeah,
when
we did.
They threw a guy out at second. And he was out by 9 feet,
Yeah.
and they called him safe.
They reviewed it, though, right?
They reviewed
Overturned
it.
that
but-
call, so.
They can review in college like that.
Yeah, they review. I think only certain plays is what first base and tag outs. I think is all that they can review.
Yeah, we wound up losing that game to them.
What's your all's thoughts about the NFL being able to challenge pass interference calls?
I think it's stupid.
Well, I mean, at some point you got to draw the line somewhere, or every play is going to be reviewed.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy pass interference because even if they're not called, they can review it, which is crazy. I
Okay,
mean,
now that is a little crazy.
yeah. So if they don't call it,
I
you
like
review it.
I like the ability to review stuff because, and this is just from in my opinion, when you put that kind of money, and I get that the college sports have money in them, but the players don't get as much money. I'm not gonna say none, but they don't get as much.
They
money.
don't at Oklahoma.
Yeah, in pro sport, yeah, okay. Bomar.
Yeah.
So in pro sports, I feel like there's too much money, and it kind of corrupts the game a little bit. I mean, you can't tell me that every game in an NBA series, whenever it gets into the playoffs, goes to Game 7. Every series goes to 7. Come on, you can't tell me that somebody's not pulling a little bit of strings just to make a bit more money.
Oh yeah.
So when it comes down to being able to, bringing all that back, when you can review plays, then it kind of takes the chance for corruption.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, don't do anything overt because I'm going to review it. Now, if you can get away with a little bit, but not as much.
You think it's all because of Saints, right? The Saints-Rams game?
Yeah,
of course it is.
It has to be.
Do you think that particular call cost the Saints the?
I think they beat the Patriots, honestly. I think because the Patriots weren't that good that game. It's just the Rams couldn't move the ball at all. I mean,
that's a lot of variables.
Yeah,
Just
it's
to
a
say
lot.
that one call going one
Yeah,
direction.
but that one call changed
that,
the
that,
outcome
that, that
of
was
that
the game.
game.
That was the game right there.
But what was the game?
They're by 3 with like less than a minute
The
left.
biggest thing, though, I mean, it was an obvious pass interference. But the problem is that we have super duper extraordinarily slow motion that they keep showing the stuff back because it was more of a bam bam play, but they keep showing it in slow motion. And the guy, because of the speed of the guy,
glaring in slow motion.
Yeah, it's glaring in slow motion, and I think that's what people are focusing on was how could he miss that? Well, yeah, he missed it in real time, but in real time it was pretty quick.
So I gotta say this, just for how the world works, I can guarantee that the first person to get screwed over by this stupid penalty will be the Saints.
That would be funny.
Yeah.
So we've got some typical Ranger stuff going on here.
Yeah, we got the Rangers. We're going
We
back
got-
to
we got
Rangers game
Cole Hamels
against
just
the Cubs.
dishing against his old team, the Rangers. Imagine that.
Have y'all beat the Cubs yet this series, or y'all been swept so far? Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, I hope so because I hate the Cubs. So
Hate's a strong word, but all right.
it's I very strongly dislike the Cubs.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
saying the Rangers get rid of people that always come back and beat them.
Well,
always.
at least you Darvish, at least, like you got rid of him at right time because he's not very good. He's hurt all the time now.
Yeah, I
so.
heard all the time, but
So
Cole Hamels isn't.
Nope.
everybody knows Caleb and his Sooner fandom. Casey? Throw a little bit, if y'all hear some strange noise in the background too, Rascal, the podcast bulldog, is outside and we have our window open.
It's
So
a little
he's
too hot in here.
So
It's a
he's
little
trying
steamy.
to figure out how to get in. But go through your life growing up as Rob being a huge Sooner fan and what it was like and how you were drug into this life.
All right. Yeah. Well, so my dad is what would be known as a fanatic, not just a fan, but a fanatic.
I think he means that in a very good way.
It is a good way. No, it is because especially sports are good. I mean, I'm not going to say that all sports are good. Obviously, there are some aspects of every sport that are not so great. CTE, whatever. We're not getting into that, but we are going to. I am talking about the good things, and it brings people together. It definitely does. My dad has always been into sports, especially Sooner, and I remember going to games, and I really. It was fun. It was a good time. I didn't know what I was looking at. I was too young. It was too loud. The guns were too loud. It was covering my ears, But I can remember my interest really taking off whenever because we would go over to my granddad's house to watch football. And spending time with him, spending time with my dad, spending time with my brothers, that was always, that was the good time to me. And because the Sooners were a part of that just kind of,
Yeah.
it's another, they're family. Sooners are family now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's true.
So, Rob, out of your sons, which one's probably the biggest fan of sports? Is it Rhett?
It is Rhett. There's
Thanks for asking, Rob. Or answering,
sorry.
Rob.
Well, here's the thing. None of my sons are a fan of sports like I was or like I am, because I liked pretty much all of them except basketball and soccer. and girls basketball.
So only football and baseball.
Football, maybe. And hockey? Is that hockey too?
But I mean, I don't know of any of my sons that will sit down and watch baseball all day or golf
Right.
all
Can't-
day.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
See, I can do that.
Yeah.
And
No, I
football,
can, too.
obviously. So, they, Casey, he and I went to, when I was a student there, Casey and I went to games and sat in the student
Now
section.
let's clarify that you were a student late in life, not like you had Casey
Right.
when you were 18.
Well, I did have
Did
Casey.
have him when he was 18. But no, he wasn't going to school then.
Right. Yeah. We had Casey Young, so but I mean they're all fans of the Sooners athletics, but I think that may be where it stops for most of them, with exception. I think Casey probably enjoys more outside of just the Sooners, but I'm not sure Rhett or Michael does. Michael doesn't even care about sports at all that I know of.
Zero.
So
Hey, man.
Sports affect Michael to the point that he, being a server / bartender, makes more money on game days.
Yeah.
That's what he likes,
That's
and
what
I
he
don't
likes.
blame him. I mean,
Yeah.
So when it comes down to sports, for me, I won't watch baseball. Now somebody's like, "Hey, I've got a game, or I got a ticket to a game that's 10 minutes away from right now." I'm like, okay, you know what? Okay, I'll go to that. But then you guys have been inviting me to the Rangers game in Dallas. I'm like, no, that's too far.
That's too
I'll
much.
say,
Yeah.
The Dodgers in OKC have Thursdays, so much to do it one of those
Yeah.
days.
But
See,
see-
I'll go to a game like
and
that.
see, and that's where Caleb, when David, he likes the Sooners and football. That's about it.
Mm-hmm.
He likes the Steelers, and yeah,
There's the
but,
Vikings.
but he likes the Steelers too because he's normal and he's my normal son.
He likes Vikings because they're Randy Moss.
But when we went out and saw him this summer, he'll go to a baseball game with me. We went out and watched the Dodgers play. Thanks, Scotty.
Jealous of that.
and-
Wait, the real Dodgers?
Yeah,
or
the real Dodgers.
Yeah, the real
At
Dodgers.
Dodger Stadium.
Yeah,
which
we
is,
went to Dodger Stadium and
Did you get a
caught a
Dodger dog? You have to.
Oh yeah, I got
Yeah.
a Dodger dog,
Is
and
it all hype or is it like legit good?
it's legit good. I mean,
Is it okay? Are they, because the Dodger dogs at OKC are like
no, they're
this big around?
No.
For those who can't see me, I'm holding up my pinky finger. That's how big they are.
The thing, and I sent Rob a message. The thing that shocked me about the stadium, and we were all out there for the Rose Bowl and everything. And Caleb said it when we were coming in to LA that evening. Was I didn't realize that Los Angeles had that many mountains.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I thought it was in a mountain. No, you're driving through Los Angeles, going up and down mountains, but that baseball stadium is built on top of a mountain. Next to downtown, they cut the top of a mountain off and put that thing in there, because you go over to the edge of the parking lot, look out, you're looking down at downtown.
Okay.
So, and I didn't know that, and I sent Rob, I think I sent you a text. I said, "You know this thing's on
I
top
did
of
not
a
know it
mountain."
either.
Our place is a beautiful game. Watch the game at too.
Yeah.
I've never been to.
Speaking of
That-
But let me finish my story real quick. Was that Megan and her husband Greg, they're they'll wear OU shirts. Greg might sit down and watch.
Greg he's like sports.
No, they're just not sports fans. Now Caleb, when Caleb was like 4 and 5 years old, he would get up in the morning and we'd wake him up, and he would get up early. And then the first thing he would do is he would go in and he would sit down right in front of the TV on his knees, and he would turn on Sports Center.
And then commercials, watch SpongeBob.
And then he would watch the episode of SpongeBob, and then he would watch Sports Center over again.
I love
And he would sit there and do it. And when he was like 8 and 9 years old, he would tell you, and he can still do it. I mean, rattle off soccer players, baseball players that I'm like,
Is he a man?
Soccer's amazing.
Oh,
My team today got
You're a chick.
heartbreaker lost. They 89th minute goal.
I don't know what that means.
Terrible.
89th minute. I don't understand that.
There's 9 minutes of the game. The 89th minute they got.
So
own
why
goal
not-
Listen,
with
I'm
what-
not sure we want the.
So
Yeah,
so
you
why
don't
don't
have
they
to
say
soccer.
1 minute
Soccer.
left in the
But
game?
yeah, but
There's not one sport that I dislike except for soccer.
and
And it's not so much about
It's
the.
intense.
It's no, you're watching grass grow with a bunch of
Very-
soap opera stars out
Very
there.
untrue. Very untrue.
Very untrue.
Strong disagree.
There's a lot of flopping.
It's everybody. Yeah, they
Flop and
they
everything.
look for people who can flop and then teach them soccer.
This is ignorant right now. Ignorant talk right now.
You're right, I don't know enough
But
about it.
but my point is that Caleb is always every sport. I mean every sport.
What about
And
sports?
David, to the point of David when he was in the military and Caleb was in high school. they would be playing trivia or something somewhere, and David would call me for rock and roll questions,
and call me for sports.
and call him for sports, and they would call him all the time.
Yeah.
He was he was 13 years old and getting calls at 1 o'clock in the morning because David and his buddies were at the bar and they were arguing about some player, and David's like, Caleb, tell these guys.
That's not used to. That's still a fact to this day. If Dave needs a question asked about any sports, he'll call me. He's like, hey, I need to know does this guy still play for his team? Yeah. All right. I told you, Mom.
Yeah. You hear that in the background?
Yeah,
Hey up.
So,
I was going to say, though, speaking of mountains, though, my brother almost killed my dad
God.
Through the mountains to the Rose Bowl. We went through the mountains to go to the Rose Bowl, and he was going like 6 miles per hour, flying through the curves. Dad just sitting in the back seat, grabbing his seat, and I finally yelled at him, said, slow down. And
there was more words came out of my mouth than just slow down.
It was about a 30-minute ride to the mountains, and my dad made me anxious for how freaked out he was because he was holding his seats.
Okay,
he was looking down the whole time. Like he made me scared.
Let's just say this. Rob and I have made no two parts about it that we don't like heights.
That's true.
Okay, and we weren't just driving through we were driving through the Los Angeles National Forest. Okay, so we weren't on a 4-lane, 6-lane interstate. Okay. Mm-hmm. It was
2 lanes.
It was a 2-lane road, and most of them didn't have a
guard
on the side, and you looked off the mountain.
It's a straight fall right there. So
and you're going up and down. And when David first was going, it was like, it was like the Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And I finally was like, slow the. And I just had to put my head down because I get vertigo.
Yeah. See,
and if you never had vertigo, people who don't understand, it's not just the heights. If you have vertigo and all that stuff starts moving around, it freaks you out. Okay. I mean, you see things move away from you and to you and you get dizzy. That's what bothers me about it.
Yeah. See, I love heights, and he was so freaked out that I was getting freaked out from it. It was like, what a famous actor died on those roads too. Like, I can't remember who it was, but I know
James Dean.
Yeah. He died on the roads we're going through right there. I believe it. It was a fun ride. As soon as we got to the gas station, my dad kissed the ground.
I got out.
I was like, thank God.
You sound like this dramatic guy.
Well, when
you are dramatic.
Well, Dad, you ready for
when we went up to Colorado on that ski trip? Me and him were on a ski lift, and that was. I wish we'd have had a camera on this.
Both of you just holding on to each other.
I'm sure we bent the sides in.
Yeah, you should have seen him on the cruise ship. Did he tell you about that?
No.
Okay, so he took me and my brothers on the cruise, right?
Oh,
and he's the one that chose the room with a patio, with the outside deck.
Way to go, Rob.
Right? He chose that.
The balcony.
Yeah, and I loved it. Now I'm not. It's not that heights don't scare me, because they do. Any person who says that heights don't scare them is just processing. Now you're just processing. No. You're wrong.
I love it. I want skydive. I think it's awesome.
That's because it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
It makes me feel alive.
I always. But
it doesn't. But I'm scared. Yeah, I am scared. If not of the fall, of hitting the ground.
I'm not scared, but once I fall down, I might die. That's what makes you scared. But at the right time, this is cool. I mean, you never know.
Have you been on a cruise ship?
Yeah. Okay. So what happened on the
right? So we're checking out our room the first time, and I was like, oh, cool. And I open up the thing, and Michael and I go out there, and we're looking. And we're like, hey, Dad, you got to come out here and look. And he does. He comes out, turns towards the ship, so away from the balcony, puts both hands on the wall, and is scooching himself. There's I was like, Dad, come on. And then
that's just safe. That's just safe.
I was leaning against the balcony, and I swear to God, I saw the blood just drain from his face. Oh, get up there, get up there.
Oh, yeah.
He had to go back inside. He couldn't stay there.
It will put me on the ground.
Well, there was, when it's kind of, I've seen him do that, something similar to that. We were at the Crow's Nest at the university, the very top part where they do the films, and the guys that were up there were out, leaning. I had to walk to it when me and your dad did the same thing. Me and Rob did the same thing when we come off the thing. It was like boom, up against our backs were against the wall off the elevator. The other guys, they walked to the end and they're like looking off there, and I walked to it real slow. When I got there, because if you finally adjust, you're not as uncomfortable. And I go to turn around, and Rob is about in this position, okay, walking like this with his hand out to get to
the rail. I'm not surprised, not even a little bit.
Are you ready for we'll go to the Durant next week? You ready to go drive over the bridge? I'm going to drive a bridge for you.
No, we're going around that bridge.
What?
Yeah.
I'll
He's
drive
the same
over
way.
bridge.
There was this. Where were we going? Were we driving to Georgia, Florida? And it was that bridge.
Rob, you don't like talking about this stuff, do you, Rob?
He's sure he's not
Well,
manly, I guess.
here's the thing: you guys talk about it like it's a mental illness, and I think it's just safe. So
We're just smarter than everybody.
I think you just take it to an extreme degree. Is all I'm saying.
My dad thing too on the way to Florida, like we had to stop at a gas station. Mom had to drive over the bridge. The whole time he had his eyes closed.
No.
that
Covering
bridge
his
that
face
crosses
too much.
over into Memphis.
The one that's real tall, goes up, it's like
In
straight
Baton
up, and then
Rouge.
straight back down.
Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Would you
Goes up like that. Yeah.
No, I drove across it,
would you drive over the golden?
but everybody's got to be
He's been
really
there.
quiet and don't move.
Somebody said if you drive across it, yell ah.
Yeah.
I
Mike-
walked across the Golden Gate.
You did?
Actually, yeah.
Took him 16 days. But he did.
It took a while. I'm not gonna lie. When I got across the bridge over in the Sausalito, I was like, somebody needs to be sitting over there with a deal of beer or something. Because
I deserve this beer right now. I deserve it.
That's pretty funny.
But no, I mean, but when we're at that bridge that you're talking about and going into Baton Rouge, Teresa was driving, and I don't know, it was at night, and Baton Rouge it's not pretty, but I mean they got it lit up pretty
When
cool.
it's lit up at night from driving you can make a turd look good from a
Yeah,
distance.
but we're going over the top, and she's
I'm not
like,
sure that's true.
she goes, look at that, isn't that so pretty? And I was like, don't look at the city, watch the road.
It was better because Michael and I kept going, hey, you see those gators down there? If we fell, we're definitely dead. We just the worst things that we could say.
I used to can make myself get over them, and I can't anymore because if the vertigo kicks in, I mean it's like.
See,
So
I was shocked too because we went to New York Studios that trip, and that's the first and only ride that rode with your feet dangle. He rode that ride because there's a Hulk, and that's his favorite superhero.
Yeah. He was like, are you going to ride the ride? We went to Universal Studios, and I rode all the rides.
Which
It was
is
like
shocking.
He was like, because I won't Six Flags. Yeah, I'm not getting on any of those rides.
Breeze or
Yeah,
Batman.
I'm not getting on the Titan and stuff like that. That's just
I've ridden every one of them multiple
I
times.
still do it.
I don't.
Could you imagine? The Batman ride that someone get their head kicked off because they wouldn't get their hat. And,
Yeah, well, that was totally his fault.
Yeah, it's his fault. Gets that. But can you imagine if you broke your leg and like, how'd you break your leg? Oh, I kicked the guy's head off on a ride.
I can't even say that she kicked it off.
Yeah.
She was just a weapon that the roller coaster used to kill that guy.
Can you imagine just explain that story? Oh, you broke your leg. How'd you break your leg? I killed the guy.
No, not just imagine. She was in a cast. It shattered her
Yeah.
leg, so she guaranteed she answered that question
Yeah,
a
plenty of times.
million times.
That'd be the worst.
So
Was she riding the ride and he was
It's just my
standing?
ride. He would get his hat. He jumped over the fence and said, "Don't go in here."
He jumped over a couple of fences
Yeah.
where there were
Oh,
plenty of
my
signs,
God.
and he got his hat. Well, I don't know if he got the hat, but he was going. Yeah, and she came through at enough speed that her foot connected with his head, and his head came off.
Completely off. Yep.
I'm guessing they weren't able to.
No,
attach it.
No, he's dead.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Wasn't Lorena
That's
Bobbitt.
it. Like, she had a couple people. Come on. She had a couple people. Like, she killed the guy. She's like break from. I killed the guy that day at Six Flags.
No.
I don't know. I mean,
So basically, what everybody's getting is that Rob and I are very conscientious. We are safe. We understand,
of heights.
of what should and should not be done,
I think
and
y'all pansies, honestly. It's just heights.
You know.
They're gonna kill you. unless you
Everybody's
mess up.
afraid of something.
I'm scared of snakes. So,
And
There you go.
dwarfs.
See? Snakes don't scare me.
and
I
dwarfs,
hate
right?
snakes.
Did you say dwarves?
Yes.
I'm scared.
Like the fictional or
I'm
not?
not dwarves. I'm scared of little people. And
That's- Interesting.
well, it's because when I was little, I watched the Leprechaun movie, and he scared the shit out of me.
Okay,
Cousin,
that
sorry.
hit him in the ear.
Yeah.
It did.
Oh,
Yeah,
There better be blood.
When I was little,
that
I
hit
watched
him in the ear.
I watched the Leprechaun movie. It freaked me out, and to this day, I still get freaked out by little people.
So for his 21st birthday, I was trying to find
My
a
brother was trying to get me that.
midget stripper. That's
Yeah,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
Midget stripper with a python,
with a
on
python.
on her shoulder. So yeah, it's a
That's-
double whammy right there for me. This is mean.
Yeah.
I mean, python might eat her. I mean, it's like, oh, it's
The
not right
python's
here.
not gonna. Come on, really? How small of a little person do you think she's carrying around a 20-foot python?
Still eat her. You see that video like last week that huge anaconda in Brazil?
That one was like 100 feet long or something, right? It was like 31 meters.
Nightmares.
That is a nightmare.
That's good. That
That could eat all of us and be fine.
Did you see
back
the,
for seconds.
the video that Teresa? We went down to the aquarium in Dallas,
the snake falling and falling around.
and no, we they were feeding it, and we got to see an anaconda drag a rat to the bottom of it was a dead rat, because when the guy was like, we're fixing to feed it, and I was like, well, what do y'all feed it? And it was like rats, and I said, are they alive? Because I thought they're going to drop a live rat in there and let it start swimming
That
around.
would be awesome.
Nope, it was dead.
Yeah,
They just dangled it down there, and
I would say that PETA would be upset about you giving a live rat to a boa, but as it turns out, PETA kills way more than they say. So, it's like not even like a tenth of the animals that they're trying to go for do they save. They kill like 90% of everything.
Another thing that's good about
That's not a joke.
snakes in Brazil too. Like they stay on the trees, and when they get sometimes they just drop from the trees and land on you.
Yeah.
And that's just imagine walking through the forest all of a sudden, boop.
that's why I'm not going to walk through a forest.
Imagine walking through the forest.
Or I guess
Just
jungle there.
just minding your own business, and
Well, I swing from the trees.
Tarzan. You go, oh,
George of the Jungle.
But-
I like it.
yeah, no,
Brendan Fraser.
No. Anyway,
We gone like what 10 minutes without talking about OU football.
Yeah,
It's pretty good start.
yeah,
Good conversations.
We've got just Casey, informing us of how he became a Sooner fan. So,
yeah.
was Rob like he is now, still kind of quiet during when he was younger, or
You guys haven't seen the picture where he's got half his face painted. do you?
Yeah.
we did that. We painted for the
Alabama game, which is pretty much the reason why we had a terrible first quarter.
Yeah. No, this guy, especially with sports and the ones that he competed in, which he's not going to tell you anything about that. You told them about Corporate Challenge? Any of those?
Nah.
No, yeah.
No.
So you guys don't know this. This guy was on how long did that team reign in first? The tug of war team.
Well, we went 3 years undefeated.
Yeah. So
because of you.
Well, of course.
well, there were some big dudes on that team, but that's not to say
There
that
was
he
some big
wasn't a
guys.
huge part of it. He would cut his hair into a mohawk and then either bleach it or do some crazy color, and then he would have snuff like shaved into the side of his
Bosworth.
head.
Like
oh yeah,
Bosworth.
no, he's no. The quiet head is only recent. Quiet is only.
So you were
recent.
pretty competitive. Is that what he's?
Oh, man. I
Was.
was. Am.
I was say he's
Is.
just quietly competitive.
But watching a game though, was he
Very loud, yeah.
screaming out? And see, that it must be an age here, because I used to when I was younger, and I just anymore. It's kind of like, kind of under your breath.
Hey, I yell and scream at golf.
Hey, did Tiger win? Is he done or is he still playing?
I think he got knocked out yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely did.
He's playing against Rory this
It's
morning.
on 4 if you want to check that.
So Casey, what's the best game you've been to?
Ooh, the best game I went to. Okay, so it was a Bedlam game actually.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, Blake Bell was playing for the team still.
Is it a comeback game?
Are you talking about where the last play was Blake Bell dozing into the end zone right there on the
South end zone?
Yeah, I was sitting right there. Right there. I'm talking 25 feet. Austin Ham had taken me to a game, and it just so happened to be that game. And it was great. That was definitely the best game of. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl is pretty awesome.
Rose Bowl is a
Just
really
the
good
results.
game.
The only thing bad about that game.
Yeah.
But I sat there in Rose Bowl and I was looking around. It's like, this side of the games are great. It was like the sun was going down at the end of the game. It's like perfect weather. The whole game was 70 degrees. Like, amazing weather. It's like this is how football should be watched right here.
If that
this
one
is
shows,
amazing.
yeah, if that one shows up as an ESPN Classic 2025, I won't
great.
be surprised.
I turn it off for overtime, and then I'm good as long as the game ends at overtime.
In the third quarter. I don't watch the
Have
third
you been to
quarter.
Texas before?
Yeah, I've been to OU Texas a couple times.
I love OU Texas. It's just so unique and so interesting. Have you won? We went.
Yeah, I've never gone during a loss. Thank
Listen,
the Lord.
it didn't used to be.
What?
It used to be rough.
Yeah, I'm still not a huge fan of. I mean, I love the OU Texas game, but I hate Texas, and not just the team, the entire state.
Yeah, see,
Every time I've gone down there, it's always been bad. So I just try to.
Well, always like going to it once because I think it's just awesome, just unique, very cool, and it also reminds me how much why I hate Texas so much because they're so annoying.
They are.
And after every single play, they've had stupid ass fight song they play. They always say, "OU sucks." Like,
I've been working on the
stupid.
railroad as their fight song.
I
I've
hate
been
that
working on
song
the
so
railroad.
much.
I said that I've never been during a loss, but I was there last year. So.
Now, did
That
you
fight
see?
song, man, is
Did you see
terrible.
the picture I retweeted, Rob, about the guy Tiger's like getting ready to tee off, and there's a guy standing
Oh,
behind
yeah.
him giving the
horns
horns
Yeah,
down.
that's in Austin. That course is in Austin, Texas. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Love
But there's
that.
a guy.
Yeah, La Costa.
Horns down.
Yeah, giving
Baker's
horns
there too
down.
as well. 'Cause, I mean, it's his hometown, so he's there too.
Trust me, I did plenty of horns down when I was there.
Yeah.
Because this is the first game that we couldn't do horns down, right?
That's why they all need therapy.
I horns down as many people as I could, and I promise, because I was standing there right outside the stadium, and whenever we started, getting real down, and I was not a pleasant person to be around. I promise. I was so. I was like, never mind. I'm not gonna say anything.
and
But
they-
the point is I was bad.
Now,
And
were
they
you?
said they
Was
did
it?
fight
Were
song.
you here for the Alabama game, or was that Red?
I was.
I think you were here. Yeah, you
I
were
think
here.
I was.
Yeah,
here.
'cause
y'all
left.
left early.
Y'all
Yeah.
left
Podcast
after-
people. Yeah, and I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we
we're
were
gone.
standing out in their garage, and y'all were like, Rob's like, I can't watch this.
Yep.
I can't stay
left
here and
with
watch
him.
this.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that.
And I was like, I don't blame you. And I stayed out in the garage by
God,
myself.
You freaking kidding me?
Watching the game till about the fourth quarter. Everybody kind of came out because we kind of made it. It was an interesting game in the fourth quarter.
Kyle Murray made it interesting. Him pretty much by himself made it.
Yeah, but that's something I'll never. Rob standing out there. I can't watch this.
That's
I can't stay here around all these people and watch this.
I went to the Big 12 championship game with OU Texas. It still was cool, but it didn't have the atmosphere as the Cotton Bowl game. But I will say the one main advantage I have there is one, they sell beer in the stadium and liquor in the stadium, and two, it's AC, and it felt amazing there. Because go to Texas, it's always hot as hell, and
or
like,
it's
you're
cold,
just melting.
or raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how I've experienced Texas is rain. Every
Yeah.
time I've gone down there, whatever I was doing has been rained out.
It doesn't matter what you were doing.
3 years in a row. So I tried to go to this concert with my girlfriend at the time and a whole bunch of friends, and we are getting ready for the main event, and we get pushed inside, and they're like, okay, rain's coming and lightning, so everybody's just chilling here, and we'll pick back up later. And then 2 hours later, they're like, no, everybody go home. It's canceled. And so they gave us a voucher because they have it's a semi-annual concert. They have two. One of them is something wicked, and one of them is something wonderful. And so they gave us a voucher to the next one, and I went to that one. It also got rained out. And then they gave me a voucher to the next one, and it also got rained
So
out. And then I told them to
Curse.
blow it out their ass because I'm not doing it again.
You shots like, I should get money for my gas at least around up here. I need something. Jeez.
So you could have gotten a refund for the first ticket, but after you took the voucher for the next ticket, you couldn't get a refund.
They said no.
No matter how many
Oh
times.
my
You could just
goodness.
keep getting another voucher, and I wasn't willing to try it again.
Yeah. So basically,
Well,
there's all.
God dang it, kidding me? Oh my God dang it, dude.
Bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth.
Scored.
We're up 4-1, and they just came back last 2 innings, and we lost. Walk off.
Okay, calm down, Caleb. What is this? The
Oh,
fourth
turn
game
off,
out of
man.
118
Well, now we're 1
game season.
God dang it, man. I hate the Brewers. Yeah, I hate it.
See, this is how Caleb gets. That's how I was. Now it was also funny playing video games when Caleb was little because he would do the same thing.
We
and
quit
get
playing
it.
and get off like I buried him, which is smart by his part.
Yeah, definitely smarter.
We quit
Yeah,
playing.
when he could almost beat me,
you?
I quit.
That's a good call.
Yeah, he's never beat
It's the
me.
reason why I didn't like OU for 2 years, because if you even with OU, he kept doing the same stupid play, throw it deep, and so
No, I would kick a 75-yard. No, the last game that he almost beat me, I kicked because we built your own teams on what was that, the PlayStation.
yeah.
They stopped letting you do that.
Yeah, but I had a kicker that could kick like a 70-yard field goal,
Nice.
75-yard field goal. And he was all excited. I'm going to be,
he was about
he was about to beat me, and he was up by like 2 points, and there was like a second left in the game. And
a 75-yard
I
field
nailed a 75. He threw the. That is so poor.
Yeah, you shouldn't be proud of that.
Hey, a win is a win.
Hey,
Yeah.
I developed my players into elite athletes.
He made it players, but created a team. That's like beat me.
Yeah, he had like Earl Campbell thighs. My kicker did.
See, that's why I didn't like OU for a couple years, because my dad, he beat me with them. And the only teams I liked that year is who beat OU that year, which was OSU. So I was OSU for like a year and a half, and then I got smart again, got hit in the head finally. Like, all right, back to OU. But it's all his fault though.
Hey, so you didn't like OU out of spite?
Yes, I was, I was so angry at him.
That's why he
beating
doesn't.
OU.
That's why he doesn't like the Steelers.
Talk about rebellion.
Yeah, it's out of spite.
So I will say this: when it comes down to video games, I've never beat my dad at a sports game. Never, not once. Not even come close. Never.
What about the?
Any other game, I'm going to beat him. Well, okay, I rephrase. Sports games and prop hunt on Call of Duty, I will lose.
So I don't even know what that is. I don't play video games anymore.
It's a game. That's okay. Yeah, I've heard you and I have talked about it before because you're so blown away by esports.
Yeah, that still is the weirdest thing.
Ninja gets paid like $100,000 a month, pretty much.
He's an entertainer. He's not a. He's not.
Or he's not good. Like, he's really not good, right? He's just
he is good. I'm not saying he's not good because he is good. I'm not very good at the game that he plays at all, and that's fine. But there are teams that go out and recruit talent and
it's a scholarship now. You can get a scholarship for playing games now.
But for me to go into an arena and watch somebody play a video game.
They sold out the LA stadium a couple days in a row, which I don't think the Lakers have done.
Listen, I am an elite athlete in prop hunt.
In
they don't have athletes in that, but they do weird stuff like that. Golden State's got a team in the game that I play. It's called the Golden Guardians is their team.
I think Steph has stock in it too. So.
No, unfortunately, Steph did not.
You got stock in it?
He did not. He invested in a different team because the Golden Guardians are terrible.
Well, smart of him then.
Yeah, he did. He invested $35 million into the. It's up. There's 3 teams in North America that are good, and he invested in the one that I actually enjoyed the most, and then the other ones, I don't know. Who's to say who's actually better? But
they play each other. That's how you want to.
So they do play each other, but it's best of 1 during the regular season, and then when they get into the quarterfinals, semifinals, and the finals, they do best of 5. So I think that's actually a lot more fair than our current our football system, which is best of 1.
It's again the decline of the Western civilization. The video game war.
Europe, it's not the decline. It's called progress.
Progress.
I get that you don't follow it since you're old.
He's old.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's okay. That happened. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Listen, I'm pretty sure the heat's on.
The heat is definitely on. I'm about to sweat.
But Europe sells out stadiums for their freaking darts. So
Yeah, in England.
If curling's a sport, video games are sports. That's all I'm saying.
Now, there's a you watch Netflix, right?
Some of it.
There's a series on Netflix. I binged watched all of it. It was a new series, and it's called Losers.
That's a pretty good show.
And it's about people that failed at their sport, but yet on some other part of their life,
They learn
progressed.
sport pretty much, and
you would hope that they're successful.
Yeah,
else.
but it was it's really, and they had curling on there, and
he failed at curling.
No, this guy
it's all about people choking. It's not that they lost.
Yeah, but he
they're
choked
winning and they choke real bad.
And in Canada, they have this huge. They have it's like. I don't know. It's like softball here in America. Okay, you're playing softball, and if you win your state title, you go to the national championship of curling up there. Okay, and he choked in the finals to win his first one
on the nationals.
Yeah, on the nationals, and got beat by the 3 or 4 time straight champions. But then he figured out a way to beat everybody, and he basically ruined the game. Okay. And people would come to the game and boo him because
wait, there are spectators in a curling match.
Yes,
wow.
And this thing, it's kind of like, but he basically was. Their whole deal was to just knock everybody out of the ring, out of the circle, which is not how you're supposed to play it. Okay, you're supposed to. It's called curling, so you can because that big
brick thing.
Yeah, the big granite thing. You curl it around other people. You can.
I've always wondered that actually.
Knock them, but you curl it around. That's why it's called curling.
Well, it's like the shuffleboard, right? It's kind of like shuffleboard is.
Yeah, except for there's no brooms in shuffleboard.
Yeah. But basically, what he decided to do was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, curling scores were like 9, 10 to 9, and da da da. He was just knocking everybody out of the circle and winning 1-0, and was winning the championship. And to the point that they eventually changed the rules to where you were only allowed so many knockouts that because it ruined the game. People were booing him and sitting up there going, "Oh my god, this is horrible." But the guys he was playing against and other curlers that were big were like, we didn't like it, but we all sit there and went, well, why didn't we think about this? He said he just figured out a way to win it and just won it that way. He'd get the last shot because they knocked everybody out, and he'd just roll it up there closest.
Curling.
But curling does require physical activity.
Come on.
Okay, this doesn't.
No.
And I just made video games.
It takes hand-eye coordination to really good for
those dudes train for like
yes.
8 hours a day every day.
I mean, you have to be on top of your game because it's super fast. Like,
not only that, but there's in curling there's the ice.
So who's a bigger athlete? What are they called? Gamers? Is that what they're called? Professional gamers?
They are
esports
gamers. Yeah,
yeah,
gamers.
Esport
professional gamers. Yeah.
professional gamers or professional eaters. Who's the bigger athlete?
Oh my goodness! So
I won't give it to eaters.
The disrespect.
Did you say professional eaters?
Eaters.
I can tell you who's the bigger athlete.
Who's
Yeah, that's for sure.
well, I don't know
most
most
gamers actually are pretty like in shape.
Yeah, because they're like a strict regimen of gaming, and then they'll go work out, and then they've got most of them have nutritionists.
I
was talking about on the literal sense.
But you have to be a gamer. You have to be sharp. Yeah, like I said, your hand coordination has to be great because if you're off, you suck.
Not only that, but we're talking like in curling. There's how many variables? There's the ice. There's 2 brooms and a stone that's sliding on the ice. Right. That's it.
Yeah.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. In just the video game that I'm talking about,
there's one variable.
There are not.
If somebody walks over and unplugs it, that's one.
Oh my god.
Their respect right now is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
See, this is how I felt about you talking about soccer. This is
just. I mean, I can
ignorance.
understand the old. No, it's the old resisting being replaced. Because that's what you're doing. You're getting replaced by us, and that's
you and I are fixing
Dad,
to make $1 million.
I mean,
okay,
Dad, would you be?
This is our next We're going to do a podcast and just start. We'll have you guys on, and we will tell you why professional gaming is the dumbest thing ever created.
Go for it.
Here's the hate because
you'll be
good
wrong.
If you're good at it, then you'll be like, all right, I understand why. Because you get paid millions of dollars.
I'm good at vacuuming, and I'm not going to make $1 million.
That's because nobody wants to see you do it.
Who wants to see people playing games? It's very entertaining to watch.
What if he wore a Speedo?
They would pay him money to stop.
He had some people looking at it, but I mean, yeah. That's smart gaming girls do that.
I'm just saying, in the game that I play, there are 140 characters that you can choose from, and each character has at least 5 abilities, and you have to know the timers on every one of them, what each one of them does, the damage that it does.
Strategy too, right?
You have to. Then there are 5 people on each team and the map has got variables. You have to remember timers on monster spawns. You have to remember, okay, he did this. He came out of this bush at this time with this much farm. Yeah. So that means that he went here, here, and here first and didn't go here, so I can go here and take this away from him.
Smart, brother.
I can fight this dude. I can do this. There's so
It's not
much
about playing
required.
your hand. It's about playing the guy across from you.
It's like playing poker. It's like playing poker. You got strategy to it. Like that.
You are beating him. You are beating him by outthinking him.
Was it League of Legends? Is that what it is? Yeah.
And that's just one.
Yeah. That's team play too. You can play team play on that.
Yeah.
And individual. All right.
What was the name? What was the name of the movie where the kids had to kill each other?
There's a lot of names.
I mean, it's Hunger Games. There's
Hunger Games. I would rather
Lord of Flies.
My grand and great grandkids' future be
Hunger Games
than it would be
a dystopian future where they have to kill each other
than to sit around and play video games.
Okay, so that just
bunch
shows
because eventually
how locked into your viewpoint that you are. It's okay. That's fine. That's the viewpoint of the old. I get it.
Yeah. I mean, his main daughter's a gamer. For us right there.
People are moving away from your sports. They just are. Because of...
Are they, though?
Yeah.
Pro football is like the most popular...
But still, it's going down. Though.
It is, actually.
Okay.
Pee-wee football, Little League football, they're having less and less athletes every year. And there's a reason for it. It's because people understand that
their parents don't want them to be men.
There are risks involved.
They let them sit around and play video games.
Do you
all
mean
day.
Mike Ditka? Because he was one of the guys I was about to quote and saying that if he had any kids, he definitely wouldn't let them play football.
Well, he's old now.
You're old.
Yeah.
So.
Older than you, so he should be more backwards than you are.
Sports. Video game sports.
I'm just saying.
I can't watch them. I can watch it every now and then, but I get why people watch it. It's entertaining.
How long has football been around?
100 years.
Yeah. Before that 100 years, you think people were saying the same thing about football?
Probably, yeah. I mean, people. It was
No, football became
wasn't what-
immediate.
Yeah,
Wasn't
football
what-
was just a dynamic
They
success as
started
soon
and
as it
went,
started.
wait a
What,
minute.
last 20 years, I guess
Yeah.
football finally passed baseball for a bit, like America's sport. I think last 20 years or so. So I mean,
You know, baseball,
In
football.
baseball, all of it's there. It's changing. Everything's changing. The world's changing.
But see,
my dad's so anti-gaming that someone
Hey,
offered $1
your
million.
pillow
anti-
popped.
I'm not
He's
anti-gaming.
offered me $1 million. From what he's been saying so far, I think he's like, no, I'm good. You don't give me $1 million to play games.
No, I'm not anti-gaming. I think it's great to have those little rooms in the
Oh, my goodness.
in the
Right.
in
You
the
move on from gaming.
in-
No, we
in-
need to move on because they're
in the mall where
You're-
kids can come in and drop
Sure,
their
our
quarters
audience
in
doesn't
and play
care very much about
Pac-Man
gaming,
and
so we gotta get off this
You are
now.
you are dating yourself perfectly. You are saying, "Hey, this is exactly how old I am."
well, I'm proud of how old
By
I
the way,
am.
you see Trey Young got another buzz beer today? Trey Young, Rookie of the Year. The guy's really good.
Is he?
Yeah, he's really good.
Who?
Trey
Young.
Young.
He got Rookie of the Year.
I mean, he should be Rookie of the Year.
So Caleb, you throw something out. Let's talk some Sooner football because people are going to probably be turning us off because
That's probably true.
That's not true. It's very entertaining because we're going back and forth, so we're being entertaining. But sorry about a lot of gaming talk, even though it's the future. But,
So how many? Yeah, let's put it out to a Sooner fan vote. Would you want to see
Well,
Lincoln Riley
not-
playing a
You gotta stop doing this motion because nobody can see you but me and these guys.
playing the video game, and you know the players aren't real; they're up on a
It's
big
not-
screen.
to be
Or do
fair,
you want to go and
I don't
watch?
think our fan base was pretty. It's
This is
pretty
a Sooner
wide.
football fans
Football
podcast.
This is a game
So
podcast.
It's
But,
pretty,
yeah.
yeah.
It's not really fair both to do. Okay, so football wise,
Football.
you guys excited for the spring game? Like, what think? In spring game, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to having an impact on our recruits because the spring game is not.
It's the biggest recruit day of the year.
It's not really a game. It's a
Yeah.
show. Hey, look at us. But they're not going to show anything off. So while I love going to it because I like watching football,
Gives you a good drink too.
I'm not a huge drinker. I've had the same one beer in my fridge for like, I don't know, a month. I don't drink very much.
That's nice though. I wish I didn't drink as much, but
But
save
yeah,
money.
it's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna go. I definitely want to go.
Going to tailgate?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to the tailgate,
The Friday night spring game pregame.
and that too.
Well, what's on the menu for a tailgate, Dad? Do you know
I
that?
don't know yet.
We got any idea? We got suggestions? Want to make some wings?
You can put it out to a vote.
No,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
it's going to be hot dogs.
We should probably vote. No, I'm going to vote. Is it
Hot,
wings?
okay, are you going to stand out there and cook it?
I'll help cook.
Yeah, right.
I will help
Well,
cook.
Okay, we just ran everybody off.
Nobody's coming now.
we should put a vote. We should put like wings, hot dogs, burgers. Like have the fans vote. 'Cause it is a fan event. So I mean the whole spring game thing. So
Fans, if you want something other than hot dogs and burgers, you're gonna have to bring it yourself.
yeah.
There you go. That sounds like
And,
the best idea to
We're
me.
breaking news here at all. Are they going to serve beer at the game? Are we allowed to say that? Yes, say that or not say that?
They are.
They're going to serve beer at the game.
Yeah.
They're testing out here pretty much. Is there like what could be?
Is it going to be?
carts?
Is it going to be penny
Is it
beer
carts?
day?
Is it in the concessions or is it going to be carts they're going to get from or are we allowed to say this at all or
They'll be draft and package.
okay? But
But
their
it-
own stands.
It won't be. It won't be penny beer. You know, you pay a
No.
quarter beer
What's-
night.
No, if you want beer, you better bring
Yeah, what's the
more
price?
money than
What's the
what
price
is
looking
in
for,
your-
Rob?
your
What's
pocket.
what's the price looking at for it?
I think it's $8.50.
That's not surprising.
For how big?
12-ounce glass.
Or the bottle? How much the bottle costs then?
They're
That's
12-ounce bottles.
That's a 3
Oh,
ounce.
the bottle's 16 ounces because of the aluminum ones, right?
It's a low ball glass.
Yeah, I don't
full of
know.
Beer.
I don't know.
Water.
We're going to sell liquor there too, or just beer?
Not liquor for concessions. I mean, for anybody outside the club.
So not the general concessions. You get up to the club, yeah, those dudes are drinking.
Yeah.
But then they in the clubs, don't they buy that? They have to buy that themselves and like
No, they don't.
No.
I mean, they listen.
They
if you
buy
pay as much
a
as you pay to
membership
get
into the club. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything should be free, in my opinion. If you're forking over that much money to set up there, it should be, you know. Oh, and by the way, OU, I don't have any more money to give you. I bought season tickets,
They keep saying this.
and they keep
Nice.
sending me stuff to.
hey, you want to add
you wanna donate?
add that? Yeah.
Do you want to be a gold donor? No, I don't.
Or you guys go to the sale beforehand? What's it called?
The spring sale?
The spring sale.
I am not going to the spring sale mainly because I don't want to get up that early.
You do have to get early too for that too, because plus we'll be out Louis out of the night too, so it might be a little hard getting up that early too.
This is
Not
all
Louis.
night.
If you could buy it online, I'd be all over it.
And then I guess OU's getting Kyler's Heisman Trophy too, so I assume Kyler will be there.
Yeah.
Probably for that.
And you can get your picture taken if you want with Kyler's Heisman.
Only thing is, when we sad about it, I was like, hopefully it's not cold like it was last year. We won't see Bray Switzer's fur coat again this year. It's not as cold.
I guess I missed it.
He wore a
Yeah,
big
he
ass
wore
fur
a
coat
big
last
old-
year. Yeah, it was pretty.
It was
cool.
Barry from the 70s showed up.
Listen, I want them in Heisman Park to start clearing off a spot for
Yeah.
two, not one, but two trophies.
Yeah, or put a little plaque out, like they do before your headstone goes up, the little silver plaque
I don't actually. Since
that
I've not
has your
started
name.
shopping
It's
for
like your mini,
Not that old, just,
your
about
it's
that.
like your mini monument they put out there until they, to mark your grave. They should put something out there that says this is where Baker will be.
incoming Baker statue.
Yeah.
yeah. They should just get 3 pedestals ready because we're gonna get it.
would you be opposed to Baker planting a flag as a statue, Casey?
No, I would love that, but
Yeah.
I know they're not going to do it.
I think they might do him carrying a flag.
That's-
maybe. I think they can do
That would be okay.
I
Yeah,
could
that
see
would be
them.
okay.
Yeah,
That's
if,
a good compromise.
If he had a flag and even a football or a helmet or something in the other hand,
Yeah.
just in kind of like a 1970 Superman pose, you know what I'm talking about? You get it.
I say I want to see that, and my thing with Kyler's, I want Kyler to be like, because when he runs the end zone, he does a little skip into the end zone.
There's a little skip.
I want Kyler's to be the little skip he runs in the end zone. I think honestly they should. I think they should.
I think that's instead of a skip, it's called a pirouette, isn't it?
Do y'all?
Come on.
Jump.
Do y'all agree though? I mean, he's not eating what highs, but you think that Leroy Selman should have a statue, or Selman Brothers should have a statue somewhere out in OU? Think they deserve one? I think they deserve one.
Well, if you do, what's it for?
Yeah.
And if it's for like All-American or whatever,
Or just like
then we got thousands of
Well,
those.
I-
So we got there's not enough space for
But I
that.
mean, Leroy is arguably maybe the greatest Sooner of all time.
Well, yeah, but then you'd have people that would throw back and go, well,
Marcus Dupree, where's his
no,
statue?
you
Or Adrian
the
Peterson.
the 47 straight, you should have something now,
we have
out.
we have a Bud statue, right?
We should have something for the 47th Street.
do we have a Bud?
Now that we brought that up,
do we have a Bud statue?
yeah, there's a Bud statue.
I
There's a
think so.
Bud,
think-
Barry, and Bob.
I think
And,
they should do the Leroy next to because the Selman Brothers are like very important to OU and they're arguably one of the greatest players ever played there. I think if there's any people that get a statue that's not a Heisman winner, it should be them because they're from Oklahoma too, right?
yep, Eufaula,
That's not me.
Eufaula, the Ironheads.
Is they alive?
Okay, so on the subject of Heisman's, Terry, I just want to bring this up because I heard in a past podcast you said that you would rather us take our candidates out of the Heisman race.
Yes, and win national titles.
That's bonkers.
Both.
Bonkers.
Rob, it's Natty's, not Heisman's. I'm tired of we've won what 6 Heisman's this year.
We haven't won any Heisman's.
4 we as Sooners.
We as
You're,
We've
it's
won.
the royal we. I get it, but if you're okay
There's
with taking your
4
name
Heisman.
out of the pool, that's fine. But
There's-
taking theirs is a bad idea.
There's 4 Heisman's been won since 2000. How many national titles have been won since 2000?
Zero.
One.
You go out and ask any, and even those 4 Heisman winners,
Everyone-
and ask any of them, would you rather have that Heisman or a national? Everybody would say
No
they
one's
won
denying
national.
that. No
That's
one's
true.
no one's denying that. But I think Heisman are great because it's recruiting. Like we get people that come
Also
here.
true.
They get recruits. I mean,
Listen,
'cause
there's
we're on-
not a.
OU is plastered everywhere across the country for a month straight of Heisman winner. OU, you see OU everywhere. That's to get recruits. That's the main thing you got to see.
What's happened to our last 2 Heisman winners?
Well, I mean, is it their fault though?
They've gone on to
The number 1 picks in
They got
drafts. They're great.
smoked
people.
in the
We ain't
in the
smoked.
successful NFL
Smoked.
careers.
Smoked. We should beat Georgia, and
and we should have beat Alabama, but we didn't because we won 2 Heisman.
Actually, this is what happened. So when Baker won his Heisman, he left, and then he got replaced by another Heisman, and then that Heisman got replaced by what's going to be another Heisman. So I don't know if you just want to not pick up any more Heismans because that's going to make it hard to get natties. Is all I'm saying.
Hey, we won them without Heisman Trophy winners in the past.
True, but we won them with Heisman Trophy winners too.
Name one.
No, I can't do that. I can't say that
Because
But-
it hasn't happened.
So what you're saying is
Not
that
at
a
OU.
Heisman level athlete kept us from being the natty? Is that what you're saying? Because we got the
4
Heisman,
of them
we didn't
have.
get the natty. That's what you're saying?
Jason White.
Listen, you don't understand the mental thing that's going
I
on
know,
over here.
yeah, he's having a breakdown.
Jason White won the Heisman, lost the national title game.
Right.
Sam Bradford
Uh-huh.
won the Heisman, lost the national title
Truth.
game. Baker Mayfield won the Heisman, didn't even get to the national title game, lost in the semifinals, and okay, do you see the progression there? There's been no change.
You're talking. I see what you're saying, but causality is not.
Okay, right now this is scientific because you have nothing to come back scientifically and prove it wrong.
Okay, so the fact that I just said causality is not, or a correlation is not causality is.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not. Actually, that's a rule. That's what I'm saying. That's a scientific rule. That
if you could show me, like what you said, you went, well, we've won one. No, we haven't. If you could go back to 1972 and say, hey, Oklahoma had a national champion and a Heisman Trophy winner, my argument would be null.
Okay, so the years we didn't win Heisman Trophy, did we win championship that year? The years we didn't win. That's
Josh Heupel came in second. Guess what he won?
National championship.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
Boom. 2000. The last time we won a national title. Ever since then, when we won a national title.
When Adrian Pearson, Jason White lost the Heisman, what happened? Lost. Heismans aren't bad things. You're making it sound like they're bad.
It's not. Okay, so
did I say they were bad? I said I want.
You said you'd rather not have a Heisman at all.
I would rather have
you want to be disqualified before the season starts.
I would rather us win national titles than win.
Everyone wants to do that.
See, then why is everybody arguing with me?
Because you said you don't want the Heisman. You're like, no, get everybody out of the Heisman race so that we don't get a candidate that can take our team to national championship.
Is out of the two. The natty.
Well, everyone says that, but he's also saying that he wants to be just disqualified. Like he's saying, like, make it a bad thing. Like, would you be mad?
Has it been a good thing the last 4 that we won?
Are you saying the Heisman is keeping us out of the national championship?
It feels like it.
Okay,
this is the worst take in your gaming.
We're not gonna go into it.
This is the worst take in your gaming thing. Okay, so say Jalen Hurts was Heisman this year, we lose in the national championship game. Would you be mad?
Yes.
So
Rob, would you be mad?
Would you be more mad if that happens, or would you be more mad?
Okay, we can't.
For sure, I would be.
Okay, so you're mad at that. So
that would just prove my theory even more.
Okay, so let's say
Jalen Hurts doesn't win a Heisman and we lose the national championship game. Would you be mad there?
No, because there's no correlation.
Oh my gosh, just so stupid.
But if he comes in second and wins the national championship,
if he loses.
Proves my point.
It proves nothing.
It proves nothing at all. I mean,
listen, I already told you. There's a level of
Jason
mentality going on over here.
Jason White was second at Heisman when he lost to Matt Leinart. What happened then?
But when he won the Heisman, he lost too.
Well, he's also hurt that game
Reggie
too.
Bush.
Huh?
We saw him
Reggie Bush never won a Heisman.
Yeah, it's gone.
Not true.
It, quote unquote never happened. You know what's crazy?
There's definitely a year where no one won the Heisman.
Yeah.
And Reggie came in first.
May have or may not have.
You don't hear a joke about
he won the vote, but doesn't have the trophy to prove it.
You know joke about the NCAA is that Reggie Bush won Heisman, but O.J. Simpson still has a Heisman still. O.J. Simpson still has a Heisman trophy. They still took away from him. He killed someone.
O.J.'s innocent.
Okay. Whether OJ is or is not innocent, which I'm guessing he isn't, has nothing to do with his football career. Reggie cheated in football.
He didn't cheat. He got money. I mean,
that's cheating.
That's not cheating.
That's against the rules. Therefore, cheating.
I mean, honestly,
that is the definition of breaking the rules. It's just
not that he got money; it's his parents got a house.
I mean, Adrian Pearson drove around.
They got money.
Adrian Pearson drove around with a new car
that they were trying to get financing.
They were trying to sell
for.
it to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we always cheat, but it doesn't matter.
He got caught cheating. Is that better?
Can we agree here that players should get paid at least something? I guess something.
They absolutely do. It's called a stipend.
At worst, I think at the minimum, they should at least get paid for lightness.
I think they should get paid like 20 hours of minimum wage.
Well, don't you agree that they should get paid for their jerseys, lightness, and then they get paid for games and too? So
you can't do that because you've got Kyler Murray's jerseys, the number one selling jersey, and Cody Ford's. How many people have,
who's the number one selling jersey in the NFL? Is it offensive lineman? No, it's a football player.
But my point is that you can't pay.
You pay for lightness. You get paid for being good. You get paid for being.
But that's not
player.
fair.
So when you're a pro,
the world's not fair.
When you're a pro, and that's the definition of being a pro is being paid for that.
Yeah.
Then I'm all for it.
But you get, I think getting paid for lightness is the best thing. People say it's not fair, but well, I'm sorry.
Now, if you would say we're going to give every football player 10 cents on the dollar of every jersey we sell,
Well, see, you're really getting specific there because
Well, Rob,
jerseys
yeah,
are
turn it down,
not
please.
something that makes. I can't imagine that jersey sales are what makes the university the most amount of money. But
I mean,
those kids are making the university money hand over fist.
Like, can you imagine?
How much does it cost to go to OU?
Too much.
A semester.
Whenever I went, it was close to like
but
No, I'm asking.
$8,000 or $9,000 a semester.
A semester. So they're making what,
That's less than minimum wage.
$16,000
That's
a
way
year.
less than minimum wage.
Plus, they get their food, all their food.
Okay, and
they get to travel
They also
across
have
the
a full time
country.
job that they don't get paid for.
and they also
What is
and
that?
That's what I'm saying is they've got free time that they can't use
No.
because they don't have any money.
And also, like that argument saying they get paid to go to class, it's not true because they can't do certain classes because their football interferes with it. Like I was listening to like a podcast of Aaron Foster. He was like he wanted to do astronomy, and they won't let him do it because of football. It
Right.
interfered with his. So they're saying you get paid to go to school. Or
Son, you
they
either
pay-
tackle people or
they
you look
pay
at the
for it.
stars.
They pay for it. They pay for it, but you still can't really do what you really want to do. If you're a star player, you can't actually take the classes you want to do. Like other players, yes, you can do that.
Not only that, but let's go back to the fact that these players who are getting, they're getting scholarships and stipends and food, and I get that, clothes, all of that, housing, great. But is that player making you more money than you are giving to that player? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Nobody said it was going to be fair.
All I'm saying is give them part-time.
It's gonna pay for likeness. It's gonna pay for likeness.
They
get paid for a AAA
Or
game.
just
I
let
don't know
them play
about
video
likeness.
games and
I'm
pay them
just
for
saying-
that.
What?
Let them play video games.
We're not
and
getting
play-
back into this,
They could
Terry.
get part time.
So just give them some money where if they've got a girlfriend or
That's what they get a stipend for.
that they you're okay.
Well, talk to-
It's not enough. We've talked to players before. It's not enough to be able to say, "Hey, I want to take you on a date to a mid-level restaurant and a movie." It's not. They don't have enough. They've already said it.
Well, what was
And
it?
so I don't mind just the university's going, "Hey, here's $140
A week.
That's not
A week.
very much.
$100 a week for each
The
player.
stipend they get is more than that.
I've heard this from players. I'm not pulling this out of my ass.
I'm sorry, Rob. Gay biker got in trouble for eating a second plate of spaghetti.
Okay,
so, I mean,
First
Jesus,
off, I thought he said a gay biker. I was like, where
you talk fast.
He
That's my
technically
fault.
did say that.
Yeah.
Gabe Eichard.
Yeah, but then he
I was like, where is he going with
He
that?
got in trouble. We got in trouble for getting second plate of spaghetti.
Those don't exist, by the way.
The gay biker. Okay.
They're called bears. Actually, you should got a lesson on
Yeah.
that a long time
No,
ago.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Nope.
Actually, I gave it to you, so I know you got it.
I'm ignoring everybody.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I do think that the players should be paid a minimum amount, not a lot. We're not
So
enough
should
to,
football players be paid more than
Yes.
the girls' basketball
Yes.
team?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
That's
what?
that's
Yes.
unfair, sir.
You're right. You know why? You get paid more than they should get paid more. So that Duke basketball players should get paid more than football players. You bring more money to the university, you get paid more.
No.
That's how the world works.
That's not your fault.
You
You can't be a.
That's how
I
it wor-
want to play baseball. I want to play baseball for any university. It
that's-
doesn't matter.
that's how the world
I'm going
works,
to go
though.
to this one. It's not my fault that the players before me were shitty, and so therefore nobody wants to watch
That's-
my team.
that's
That's
how
not
work-
my
that's
fault.
how the world works. If
It
you-
should be a part of your scholarship.
if
If you
you-
get a
if you
full
get-
ride, you should get a certain amount.
If you're
So a
if you're
tennis
getting more
player
money-
at the University of Oklahoma that does
Can I
not
just
generate
say-
any revenue.
Can I say what I was going to say fast?
$140 is not that much.
If you bring more money to the university like football does, like OU football brings more money in the university probably anything else, you should get paid more because you bring more money in. That's how the world works. If you're more important, you get paid more.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot of things wrong with that argument. I'm not going to go into them all, but I want you to know that you can't do what you're talking about.
I think that's how it should go.
Rob's just
Rob's
giving
been
up.
quiet. Rob's been very quiet this whole podcast so far.
Why have you been so quiet, Rob?
Well, I don't know. I think that I'm trying to adjust the mental.
Yeah,
Is it-
don't.
Is it too hot in here? Is that what it is?
That's
It's too
what
hot
it
in
is.
here?
My brain is boiling. Anyway.
So,
All right. So
Football is the only sport at the university that makes money.
Yeah.
exactly.
That's why I think they should.
And it makes enough that every person that gets a scholarship could
Are
be
you-
paid the same amount.
Are
course
you,
it does.
so are
There
you
you
telling
go.
me that
Done.
OU's struggling then? Is what it sounds like?
What?
OU sports is struggling?
Every college sport,
Yeah. I would
besides
say
football, is
I'm-
struggling.
and I'll guess that there are some colleges that even the football doesn't bring in enough money to cover what it's
Yeah.
paying out, and that's
I
fine.
mean, UAB, they closed the football program down 2 years ago, and they brought it back because they weren't making enough money. So, I mean, that's why we can't have other sports here, too. Like, We have a hockey team. We can't have a.
You know what it costs to redo the south end zone?
I guess $20 million.
You said
$360 million.
So what are they doing back there, anyways? What are they doing with it? Well, the new one that they're doing it with it now.
Oh, what are they doing with the new construction?
They're putting in ADA seating.
Yeah, they're doing more than that, but
Yeah, but I mean that's
Wait, what?
Americans with Disability Act,
Oh, okay. So more like seats for.
or for wheelchairs and
ramps
scooters.
and
so I haven't heard any kickback on those because those front 2 rows are gone now.
Yeah.
and that's going to be ADA. So I'm kind of curious to some of those people that were on those first 2 rows forever. How are they feeling about that?
They're going to have to shift their. They can say something to me because those are the seats we're getting.
So, what else are they doing there, Robin? What else are they doing down there?
So they're giving more room. All of the bleachers are being moved around so that there are actually more room between bleachers.
Nice.
Yeah.
So.
How are they doing that?
Well, I don't know, but all the bleachers are off.
Yeah.
Did you take some? You should have one guy did a couple years ago.
No, he did not.
No, I did not.
A couple years ago, he took the. Well, I was saying a couple years ago, took the bleachers. Let me finish what I'm saying. And he's selling the bleachers with pictures on them. Like
he makes those himself.
Oh.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
those didn't come from the stadium.
Those didn't come from the stadium.
Okay.
No, because I've talked to him.
I got him. I think I got him.
No, he buys fiberglass bleachers. That guy does and cuts them himself.
Yeah.
So,
excuse me.
anyway,
You guys want to talk about defense? I mean, you talk about defense pretty much every other podcast.
Okay, I said
We're tired about talking about defense.
Yeah,
the
we're
only thing I said about defense I said last time is just I want turnovers. That's all I care about. We be as long as we're okay on defense. As long as we get turnovers, I think we're good. Our offense is good enough that we can. That's all we need. We're terrible at turnovers last year. I think the worst.
we were
in the
terrible
country.
at defense last year.
Yeah, but turnovers though, you can be bad defense. Let's get turnovers. Let's give us the ball more. Like we can
Well,
get.
basically a turnover is a stop.
Yeah, that's all I mean.
For us.
Basically,
Turnover. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
it definitely is.
Turnovers.
yeah,
They
but
turn the ball over, but they're not done yet. Wait,
turnovers
what?
and red zone defense. It's the only thing that this year, like I say, if we rank 70 in defense, I'm fine with that. As long as we get turnovers and stop people in the red zone. Don't, because we're the worst in the red zone last year. That's all I care about. Because I said we're making a huge jump in 1 year. In 1 year, your expectations can be too high. If we just get turnovers and stop people in red zone, I think that's realistic thing to put your mind at least. Am I wrong for thinking that's too much, or was that too less for you guys
Sorry,
to be happy?
esports.
I just want to be better at defense.
So let's say we rate 70 at 70, like 75 in total defense, but we rank in the top 30 in turnovers and the top 50 in red zone defense. Would that be okay with you guys?
Yeah, but
That would be market improvement.
but then we'll be sitting here. We're going to be sitting here again this time next year talking about the team that we had another championship offense that couldn't win a championship because of its defense. That's what we're going to.
I don't think we ranked in the top 70.
The bottom line is that this is what we're going to have for the next couple of years.
I don't think
Actually, Terry, we covered this just a second ago. We didn't win the national championship because we won the Heisman.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
If we
wouldn't have a Heisman winning quarterback.
Last 2 years, if we had number 7th ranked defense and we're top 10 turnovers, we win the national championship. We don't need much from defense to be good. We don't need a top
7th.
70.
70.
70, yeah. 75. If we're ranked 75th and like top 20 in turnovers and some people in red zone, we will win that championship. We've been so bad in defense last 2 years that I think we're in the hundreds, and the turnovers were even worse than that.
2 years ago, we were the 64th ranked defense.
That's fine, but we didn't get turnovers though.
And this year we were 114.
Yeah, 114 and dead last in turnovers and.
Also, I got apologize. I'm
Red
talking
zone.
fast. I'm going to try to slow down, so I want you to take deep breaths between my things. If you can understand me, I realize I'm talking fast, so I got to slow down.
Welcome
Sorry
to
about
my
that.
world, if
Yeah.
you can't understand. So.
Are we going to do the Sooner bucket of questions?
Oh, do you want to do?
I was kind of
Yeah.
well. Those are the only ones that I can really answer. I can slam those things.
There you go. Rob,
Let's do this. As
Rob,
long as it
you
wasn't
wanna- you
before
wanna
I
do
was
it?
I want to do it.
born.
Let me do it.
no, Rob, you always read them. You read the questions.
No, go ahead.
Can I draw at least? Can I
No.
draw it? Let me draw it.
No,
No.
that's not how the game works. They want to do the Sooner bucket of questions. So, Dang, I need my
So,
glasses.
Rob, what would you be happy with defense then? What would you be happy
Well,
with? My dad does this.
so I won't be happy until we're the best defense in the nation.
It takes a
But
while.
I will be satisfied to see improvement. How's that sound?
Agreed.
So for number
Agreed.
80th, for 80th in country, would be satisfied with that, or like, what's
Well, like I say, I won't ever be happy with the defense until we're number one. But
ranked 70th? Like I said, 75th. How would you?
I
put
mean,
that?
if we were 75th and we won a national title, I mean, how could you?
Right,
How
right.
could you be unhappy with that?
national title cures all. I think.
But I mean, I am a fan, right? I mean, I'm a fan. I want the 1985 defense that was mad because they gave up 7 points on a when the twos were in at the end of the game, and they still won the game 47-7. That's the defense that I want.
I think we all want that. It's just
Yeah, we're fans.
I will say,
Okay.
from what I see from Grinch so far this year, I've been happy from seeing the videos of him and how he's coaching them, how he's doing that stuff. So I mean, so far I'm happy with it. But he did come out saying like that we're very light in secondary, which doesn't give me confidence at all.
Okay, we ready for
I
this?
feel like he may have said we were light on the
entire
entire
defense.
defense.
Is Redmond gonna come back at all this year?
Yeah, he's been
He's
practicing.
been practicing. Okay, that's good. 'Cause I think that guy's gonna be a monster.
Okay, here we go.
All right, question
Sooner-
number one.
Sooner bucket of questions. Question number one. What do you strongly suspect is true but have no proof of?
Casey, go first. Go.
Yeah, go first, Casey. Okay, we are on a podcast. You can't have long, silent bills.
Yeah, well, that's a tough one. So, I can't go first on this. Somebody else go.
Caleb?
Is it just me and Caleb?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll pitch in.
So what's it again? It's
What do you strongly suspect is true but you have no proof of?
college players get paid.
Rob?
I strongly suspect there was a shooter on the grassy knoll.
Okay.
Also, the JFK was
I-
set up too, by the way. The mob did.
I strongly suspect there is a Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Nice. Okay.
Come on, Casey. You're the.
There's a lot of stuff.
Right?
Now, wait, what did you say, Terry?
Bigfoot.
There's a Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I have no proof of it, but
I do. His name's Michael Mixon. He wears a size 14. I strongly suspect that professional sports are fixed to a certain amount, but I cannot prove it.
I agree with that. I think to some extent. Okay. Next one. Are we ready? Would you rather be a famous rock singer or the next Einstein or Tesla?
Give me Tesla. Get more money.
Okay, so Tesla is not Elon Musk. You realize that, right?
Well, it's Einstein Tesla. That's what you said.
Einstein and
Einstein
Tesla
or
were
Tesla.
completely not Tesla. That's Elon Musk. Tesla died with not that much money.
Yeah, but in today's world, they get paid more money because it's.
But
Do
the
they?
bottom
They
line,
would, yeah.
okay, y'all are
See that? But you're asked the question: do I want to be a rock singer or do I want to be a
would you
super
rather
genius?
would you rather be the next big rock star or the next Einstein? How about that?
I would much rather be the next Einstein, just so that I could do what I can to make the world a better place. That sounds like a stinking
And also,
Miss America question, but I don't want to be a rock star.
So
Thank
are you
very
sure?
much.
Are you
And-
sure
and
he's
also
a
World peas.
with the Einstein thing, we can also just dunk on you about the gaming, how great it is, and how you're just old and don't get it. But facts, still facts that you can't deny. But you already did. but-
So yeah, would I rather be a modern day rock singer who are I auto tuned out of their ass, or Neil deGrasse Tyson? And I'd rather be Neil deGrasse Tyson. That dude is awesome.
Okay.
I draw one.
Here I'm gonna throw a cupcake one at y'all. See if
Kevin Durant? I don't know. He's-
in the Water Boy, who is Bobby Boucher's favorite wrestler?
Captain Insano. That was easy.
And here's the second follow-up question.
Go.
Does he show mercy?
He shows no mercy.
Oh, here's a good one.
Actually, I got a.
Here's a good one.
I saw a thing. Waterboy and some. God dang it! It'll come back to me.
Okay.
It's like a hypothetical.
Next, Sooner bucket of questions. In the Little Giants,
I haven't seen it.
what was the name of the game-winning play?
Is well,
Never saw it.
I saw it.
It's,
You never saw?
Little Giants. I own it. We go watch it.
You just watched it last
I
night.
do not
wasn't it?
have to watch it now.
Oh, it's a great movie. It's,
I'll take your word for it.
The Puerto Rico, it's something like that. It's Puerto Rico something.
The annexation of
Yeah,
Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
That was the name of the.
it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
I'll take your word
I
on
mean,
that.
it has Al Bundy in it.
That is
Modern Family.
pro.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Okay.
You see Modern Family?
I have seen. I know of Modern Family. Yeah.
Have you seen Married with Children?
I kind of wish I hadn't.
Can I draw one?
Movies. That show is terrible.
Oh my goodness.
You probably like Seinfeld too, don't you?
I should never really watch Seinfeld.
Good, because
I should just finish Sopranos. Very good show. Just finished it yesterday.
Okay, here's one.
go.
Who should play you in a movie about your life?
Oh God.
Ryan Gosling, because I obviously look alike.
I would really prefer Jason Momoa because that
Oh,
dude's
yeah.
Just-
awesome. Aquaman, that guy. I mean, he's got the beard. He's got more hair than I do. He's a bit taller and a couple more tattoos.
and a
but
little bit more muscular.
No. I think that's pretty good.
okay, if not him, the more accurate probably be like, I don't know, Tom Holland or something. Somebody real skinny.
Ryan Gosling. I think he'd be good.
down.
I think me and Ryan Gosling look pretty similar.
You should have chosen Jonah Hill.
Well, in that case, there is no one this pretty.
Actually, it'd be if it was still alive, Chris Farley would be pretty awesome.
Ooh.
Good choice.
So do you want to draw one, Caleb?
Yep.
Caleb wants to ask one.
Yeah,
I don't
shimmy
know why.
around. Yeah, this is for you and Rob then.
Okay.
Yeah, because you could see the answer.
Well, there's not really any right or
Okay,
wrong
Dennis
answers.
Quaid stars in Louisiana Football League who struggles with life and family after retirement.
What's the name of the movie?
Dennis Quaid struggles in a Louisiana football league.
Yeah, who struggles with life, family after retirement. I've never actually heard this before, so.
Come on, Rob. You sure
Yeah,
you know?
as soon as I see Dennis Quaid, I'm thinking.
I think The Rookie.
I'm thinking of the rookie,
Yeah.
and I can't see anything.
Or
of it.
any given Sunday.
Do you want me to tell you?
I do actually.
Everybody's All American.
Yep. I've never
Never
heard that movie
even
before.
heard of it.
John
Nearby.
Goodman's in it.
That's a good.
John
That's-
Goodman was his
I
offensive
think
line.
I've seen it, but it was so long ago.
It's a good movie.
Speaking of movies, you guys want to go see Shazam Friday?
I'm not.
I'm gonna see it.
I'm gonna go see it. I
Brett-
don't know if I can take you over my girlfriend though.
Okay. Apparently though, it's really good though. It has like 94 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, nice.
So, one more, and then that's it for the podcast.
I was wondering, have we set the record for the longest one?
okay,
That's
that's
what I was
pretty
shooting
good
for.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
We're pushing an
I'm
hour and a
doing it?
half.
All right. What do we got?
Very open podcast. A lot of
So-
different subjects.
I'm gonna ask this question, but then I want to clarify a few things.
Okay.
So, all right. How old were you when you found out that Santa wasn't real?
I think I was.
I don't recall actually.
I was today old.
Is he? Yeah.
What?
Is he not real?
He's not real.
He's not real.
Rob?
I think I was 9 years old. Me.
I can't remember.
Not 9 or 10.
We can't end on a down note. That's pretty sad. Santa's not real.
Okay, so here's the clarification.
Okay,
while he's picking
clarification.
So I've listened to every episode of this podcast.
Okay.
Obviously, since my dad's in it,
Yeah.
Jerry, you guys, I've listened to every episode.
Okay.
And something that is kind of strange to me because I know him, but my dad comes off as such a different person on your podcast than he is in real life. That's what's crazy.
How so?
Okay, so, and I know this is going to sound bad, but on the podcast, he kind of almost a little bit sounds like just, I don't know. For a while there, it was like leaning towards sexual deviancy.
Already.
I'm sorry, but it was leaning towards sexual deviancy. And then, but it's the farthest thing from the truth. Like ever. I don't know how nobody's like. That's what's crazy is like there's all of your listeners, both of them have the total wrong idea about you, and I think it's crazy. I don't know. To me, it blows my mind.
Sexual deviant.
Right? Huh. The farthest thing from this.
I don't know what I said to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I listened to them all like just run right after the other, and I just kept listening, and so I got the full effect of it. But I was like, wow, okay, so I should definitely say that For those who don't know, this gentleman left church today. Came pick me up. We went to our breakfast spot, but that
What breakfast spot?
But then,
no, Jimmy's Egg. We go to Jimmy's Egg every Sunday.
but he is still looking for stalkers, and he hasn't got one yet.
See, okay, that's another one of those things that just like it gives you the wrong idea. You're starting to get it.
All right.
All the little things compiled together.
I didn't say I wanted a stalker to.
You want Mel Stalker?
No. No. Let's make that clear.
So for those who don't know,
So really, I don't really want a stalker. That's just kind of, in jest, but
right? Well, I mean, I'm just saying, like all of it compounded together, it sounds not great.
right. Okay.
All right.
I'm just looking out for you, Dad.
I got two here. One I think is perfect for this podcast. I'll do that one second because me and Casey and parents actually can pitch in for true or not. But the first one is, what is the dumbest way you've injured yourself? Or you've been injured?
I've told mine on the podcast before, but
The dumbest way I've been injured.
I know mine when we go first. What do you think about it?
Go for it.
Yeah, mine was I was at my grandma's house and I couldn't watch Dragon Ball Z because she thought it was it's just a bad show because cartoons and violence. I was about 12 years old, maybe younger.
Sense, yeah.
And when I was little, I used to sit and put my shirt on my legs and sit on a ball, like a little ball like that.
I get that. Yeah.
So one time I thought I heard her come out of the room, so I freaked out and I fell over and bit my lip and
Fell off the bed
and bit my lip off on the TV counter and bust my lip open. I get stitches. I remember I was walking down the hallway going, my sister, who at the time was very evil, she came out. Yeah, she came out and goes, "What are you doing? Shut up!" And she turned around and she goes, "Oh my god!" And she went and got my grandma, and I got stitches. And then afterwards, for being such a good kid during stitches, she got me a WWE wrestler action figure. So, all in all, it was a good night.
Okay, so the dumbest way I've ever injured myself.
I've been injured.
I'm an electrician, so I've zapped myself. I don't know how many times. That's pretty stupid. One time I got zapped inside of the head. That sucked. Yeah, yeah. So the wire was free. It was just hanging there, and I had tucked it up and out of the way. And I was trying to work down here, and somebody else had bumped it because they were trying to help, and they had bumped it, and I should have just turned it off, but I didn't because I'm just too lazy, I guess. And it swung down, both prongs hit me right inside the head. This ear went like just a high pitched whine. I couldn't focus in this eye. I was like, "Whoa, that's weird." Oh my God. That was like not too long ago. That was like a month or two ago.
I mean, this sounds like a winner right here by itself.
As a child, the worst way I ever injured myself was. No, that wasn't that bad.
All right, guys, I haven't heard your story or yours, Rob. Can y'all repeat it just for new listeners and for me, haven't heard it.
I don't think I've ever told that.
So go ahead.
Can I hear it?
No, you go ahead.
I hear it. What'd you do?
What now?
How'd you
The strangest way you've ever been injured.
Yeah.
Strangest way. I mean, I can't think of.
Most embarrassing way you've been injured.
Okay, so, I mean, it's not all embarrassing, but there was a little girl in Lloyd Noble, and she was walking on crutches, and she was crying because it was hurting her underarms, right? The crutches were. So I offered to carry her to the elevator. And, of course, her mother said, yeah, that'd be great. So when I picked her up, I tore every muscle in my rotator cuff.
That was that little fat girl, right?
He didn't say that.
I know he didn't, but let's...
Is that fact?
She was healthy. She was healthy.
I'm not saying that... Okay, I'm
When
not
was
trying to
this?
be mean here.
This is recently,
It
right?
was just her choices
couple
and her
years
parents'
ago.
choices that led her to be the size of a, butterball turkey. It's on her.
All right, Dad, so when you hear yours, and Little Fat Girl is that's a classic. That's hilarious. Little Fat Girl, right?
What? I'm not being mean. I'm sure she was a great person, but she is bigger than she needs to be. That's on her.
Okay.
All right, Dad, let's hear yours.
Mine was me and my best friend were out deer hunting, and we were setting up deer camp, and it was cold and raining, and it was dark, and we set up our camp next to this big giant tree because the tree was hollowed out, and because we needed to start a fire, so we started the fire in the tree, in the trunk of this tree, and the tree caught on fire, which initially was good because it was warm, but we went to bed, and the tree, a burning tree, fell on top of us. So I had some like internal
Bleeding.
No, just bruising, and Bill had his. I think it cracked a couple of things in his foot, but yeah, that wasn't one of my prouder moments.
So this one
Coors Light may have or may not have been involved in that.
That's shocking hearing that. That's for you. I think this one's
Okay,
perfect.
last one.
This was perfect too, because you'll see. What did you get into the most trouble with from your parents as a kid? Which I think is perfect with me and Casey here, because our dads are here, so they can actually confirm if that.
Yeah, I actually want to know that same question. What did I get the most trouble in?
I guess we'll go with our own opinion, and then they can answer after us. Want to go first?
Go for it.
I'm trying to think of one.
What did you get in the most trouble
What did I get
for
most
as a
trouble
kid?
for? Oh, jeez, man. How about y'all tell y'all's if y'all have one?
Girls.
I'm trying to think of one. I mean, one has to do with Michael. One
That was the
pretty bad
most
to do with
trouble that
Michael.
I've ever gotten in.
But I don't think I should tell that Michael's story on here, because that one's pretty funny. But it was
You
just
can tell
it was just to say a thong was involved with Michael.
I know that one.
Yeah,
And it wasn't his.
yeah,
It wasn't his.
that was the most trouble. That one's always funny to tell, though.
It's a little scandalous if you mention that it was Caleb's sisters.
Well, what was weirdest about that was Rob called me to tell me about it,
Yeah,
because I guess it was on Michael's phone.
yeah. We sent messages
Wasn't
to the
it,
girl.
Rob?
That's what it was.
I don't
You
remember.
had found, but Rob called me and he goes, "Man, I don't know
What to do?
how to tell you this, but Michael, because Michael had spent the night, and he was like, they sent some pictures of Michael in your daughter's underwear, and I'm like, what? But Rob, it took him like 5 minutes to tell me, because he couldn't come up with the.
I can understand why that would be difficult to say.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to think of one, though. Because you have one that y'all think you had the most trouble with?
Well, the one I'm not very, how old are we talking?
Whether you're a kid. We're kids. I mean.
Well, pre middle school, high school. Which one? Little kid?
Well, how many stories you got?
What are we talking? Okay, so we're
Good
talking
grief.
about like our parents got us in trouble.
No,
or
most trouble you've been in that you think your parents are most bad at.
then my what?
That your parents got most mad at you
Mad at
about.
you.
Oh, I don't think they've ever been mad at me. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know mine.
Okay,
So
shoot.
in high school, I was driving after a basketball game. I was
Gosh.
driving to it was Freebirds, which was on Campus Corner, and at Freebirds there was this post sitting there. And I remember
For those who can't see Terry's face,
the whole ride there, I was fucking. Oh, sorry, I was messing with my friends. Hitting brakes, messing around with them, and then pulling
In my truck.
Yeah, in his truck, and pulling into the thing. And my friend goes, "Oh, look at the ass!" I go, what? Look over there, and I scraped the whole side of dad's truck, pulling into Freebirds.
nice.
Yeah.
Don't your car have a similar?
No, that one was my fault. The guy backed it to me. That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Caleb calls me.
Yeah, I called. It's like I wrecked your truck, and then mom comes outside and she looks at it and she comes inside and tells my dad for some stupid reason that it's not that bad.
Yeah, she comes in because she's like, he's home. I'm gonna go out there, and she comes back in. She goes, okay, it's not that bad. And so I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go out there. There's gonna be a little dent in the side. No big deal. I walk
Whole
out
side
there
of the-
from the front wheel well all the way to the back wheel well. There is this just jagged dent all the way down and black paint all down where
What'd you hit?
he
That
turned
pole,
into a pole.
You know, Freebirds or her
as long as it's not in the car.
Yeah, but yes, he had like a little on the truck. He had like a side thing.
Yeah.
that was like hanging off of it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
the trim was hanging up, and I'm standing out there, and of course I just like
He lost it. Like, he got me for a good 10 minutes.
And Teresa was standing. We're out in the front yard, and she was like, "Settle down." And I went. I turned around. I was like, "Settle down. How is this not that bad? What is wrong with you?"
I mean, honestly, you might be more even mad at my mom because she said it was that bad than with me. I think.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go out there, and there's a dent, and it looked like
Right.
It was bad.
It was horrible.
So am I right with that? Right there. Is it
Yeah,
probably
that's
most
probably.
bad? All right, Casey. What's yours?
So, if the most trouble I've ever been in, not from him, I don't think like all the bad things that like I've ever done, they've never been really mad at me, ever. But the one time that I got the most in trouble was when I got arrested.
Arrested? What'd you get arrested for?
So it was just a speeding ticket that I had forgotten to pay, and so I had I had a warrant out for my arrest, but this was July 5th, of 2009, and the reason I know that is because I joined the military on June 22nd, 2009. And so I had just gone and bought a whole bunch of fireworks because I had gotten my tax refund back. And so I went and bought a bunch of fireworks, and so I was driving away from Jake's Fireworks, got pulled over because I wasn't wearing a seatbelt. How dumb, right? And they saw that I had a warrant out for my arrest, so he pulled me out, and he started, cuffing me and was reading my rights. And I was like, oh, crap. And I had a buddy in the car, Austin, and the cop comes up and is like, look, you need to drive this car away right now. Otherwise, we're taking you and this car with us. And so he was going to drive it away, but then they were like looking around, and they saw that I had a whole bunch of fireworks in the back seat, and they were like, yeah, that's fine. Can you go ahead and pop the trunk? So they popped the trunk, and I had 80 pounds of free chlorine and like 12 gallons of muriatic acid. I worked for a pool at the time, but that's enough.
It looked wrong, though.
That's enough chlorine to blow up a large building. Large. So they were like, what's this? And I was like, whoa, everybody calm down, calm down. I work at a pool. And they're like, okay, we're going to need the name of your boss so that we can verify that. So, okay, no problem. So that happened to be my girlfriend at the time, right? And so it's a weird story. She had lupus. So she was having a lupus attack at that exact moment. When they called her.
She didn't answer the phone.
She did, actually. So she hears that I'm getting arrested. She verifies that I work for a pool. First thing she does, call my parents. Well, she's going through her lupus attack, and so the only thing that she can do is bawl her eyes out and get out the 2 words, Casey, arrested. So I get arrested. I go to the police station. It was nothing. It was no big deal. All I had to do was pay a ticket. But, yeah, that was the most trouble I've ever been in, and it wasn't very much.
Wasn't very much at all.
So, do you agree with that, Rob? Was that the angriest you've been out?
No.
No.
Oh. Okay. All right.
This is what I want to hear.
I want to hear this.
Yeah.
No, in fact, we lived in a house that had a loft bedroom, and it was Casey's.
Are you
And,
going to tell?
Yeah.
This is dumb. This is how is it?
Because you lied to me.
It's true. I did.
So his bedroom looked down into the
And I would have gotten away with
living
it.
room. And his mother
One of those stupid kids, mainly
was
kids.
like, "Hey, do you work?" And he's like, "No." I can't remember the whole story, but he was like, "No." And she's like, "Did you call them?" Because you know how women are they just keep on pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'll call him right now." And so he's like, on the phone, and he's like, "Hello, hey, yeah, this is Casey. Can I speak to?" "Oh, okay, this is so and so." I mean, this is a intricate conversation
Totally fabricated.
that he's having with nobody, and he's like, "I'm almost done with the conversation." "Oh, I don't work today." "Okay, all right, well," and then his phone goes ding, and we were like,
I got a text message, and they were like, "What was that?" I was like, "Oh crap!"
You should turn phone
Hold
back.
up.
You should've
Yeah.
turned phone silent.
Hold up.
I was a teenager at the time. I just want that to be
Yeah.
So
known.
how'd y'all react to that when that?
Not well.
So, listen, I was not a violent type of father. I mean, I would beat that booty,
Spankings, yeah.
but
I
when
almost died a couple of times.
when I got disappointed,
Yeah.
because I've taught you better than to lie to me,
Yeah.
kind of a situation. So,
Well, and that's something we always told the kids is like, I would rather you be honest with me
Well, I wasn't
and
honest. Mom wasn't. My
and,
aunt
and accept the punishment than lie to me, because the punishment's going to
It's
be
going to be
worse
worse.
if you're going to lie to me.
All right, so let's hear y'all's now then. So we told us ours. What's yours,
What's the
Rob?
most trouble you ever got in, Dad?
oh Lord, we ain't got time.
Oh, yeah, that's all
Tell
right.
one story.
So I could tell plenty of stories.
All right, he's gonna tell
Because
first.
no, because my granddad was a
boy.
policeman and my grandmother was the
Dispatch.
dispatcher.
Oh, that's nice.
He felt like that was a get out of jail free card.
It kind of was.
It worked
Did
a
it
few
work?
times. Yeah, he would, because he had a Trans Am, or was it a Firebird?
So he's the one that actually had that. I had a '65 Chevrolet pickup with a 405 that would pick the front end off the ground.
Yeah,
So,
long
he-
hair
yeah.
too, long hair.
He
too,
had-
back
Of course
then?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah. He had ridiculous fast cars, always did. And he would run from the police
Sure.
all the time. Like, literally all the time.
Did you always win? Majority?
Actually,
Majority.
he would get away from the policeman chasing him. But his dad is a cop, and his mom's a dispatcher. They would just call in and say, hey,
Rob's speeding again.
Rob
We're
is
chasing
doing
him down
this. Go get him, or I don't know, I guess. And so they would just go get him after work.
I'm
I don't
like,
know.
you got video?
Whenever you got away, you got away and then would you park somewhere to hide out for a second, or would you just keep driving?
Well, I'm from a small town.
of like
so-
3,000. So
I mean, you just go home and they see you later on at Sonic and they're like, hey, stop running from us. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking
that
about.
wasn't me, bro.
okay, and so
They're
then
like, yeah.
let's also say that the small towns in Oklahoma are actually like the gangs of like 1950 New York, to where they would just have big fights between the
What's the-
football teams.
That's for
Right.
sure.
With the outsiders, you're the outsiders.
Yeah,
bro?
Yeah.
yeah. Greasers, socials,
Yeah.
definitely a thing from the stories that I've heard. And certain people have been stabbed.
Wow, Rob, you stab people?
No,
No.
he got stabbed.
Oh,
With an ice pick, hit me right in the rib.
jeez.
I still got the scar.
Okay,
Well,
so
now
and I do want to
for
specify
stalkers now, huh? For stalkers,
Man,
you
that
can show
hurt.
you can show them those ice picks.
that was a long time
One of
ago.
your girl stalkers, right
That
there.
was a long time ago. The man is best described as a gentle giant. Not to say that he can't, kick ass. Because there was one time that he almost did. That dude in the airport.
Yeah.
He almost fought that dude.
Why didn't
But
you?
because he's better. No, mom was there, wasn't she?
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys were there. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so he got in plenty of trouble.
No.
Yeah.
It's just hear one of these stories. One you think made your dad mad. One you think that made him real mad.
Oh, man. You better let Terry go, and I'd have to
Think of one.
No.
I'd have to dig through.
Let's
No.
pick one of them. Let's pick one. That's be the worst one. You pick one of them.
Mine was the night me and my brother got arrested. So I was 13.
See, mine was just getting wrecked, and Casey's was just calling for work. You guys were bad boys here. We're just. So what'd you get arrested for?
Attempted vandalism and attempted
So you didn't
to
succeed,
elude
So you didn't follow through with it.
I wasn't doing it. It was a friend of
Of
mine.
course, of course.
He was trying to split the cut the security guard at the high school's tires, and he come running out and chasing us. And we hopped back in the truck. And my brother Tim, I was 13. My brother Tim was driving my dad's truck. My parents were out of town, and it was a 1982 yellow Chevy Love pickup truck. And he was trying to outrun the police in a 1970 or 82 Chevy Love pickup truck with a 4-cylinder.
Wow.
And
Wasn't Ross
we-
Firebird, I guess.
We had pretty much the entire McAllister, Oklahoma police force at some point chasing us that night.
All
Yeah.
4 cars.
No, there was about 5 or 6. It was,
This wasn't you. Were you
it
in the
was-
back seat?
huh?
Were you in the back seat, front seat?
I was in the front seat. My friend had jumped in the back of the truck, so he was riding in the back, and we came around a corner. I kept telling my brother to stop, okay?
That's
And he would.
That's
he-
what I'd say, too.
No, I did. I mean, it was like, but he felt like he could outrun them,
And then 4-cylinder car.
or outsmart them. And he turned onto a smaller street, to come off of a main street, and he hit some sand and gravel in the road and slid sideways into these people's yard and hit a tree
Yikes.
head on. Ronnie, my friend, goes out of the back of the truck, lands, and takes off running.
Oh, okay. I thought that was going to be way worse.
Yeah, they grabbed my brother, and I'll never forget the cop. I'm not going to say his name, but when he opened up my brother's door, reached in and grabbed him by the hair, okay, with like both hands, and drug him out of the car, okay, and puts him on the ground and puts his knee right in the back of his neck, kind of, and has his head up with both hands in his hair. And again, I'm 13, and I'm like, ooh. And so I go to start to open the door, and pretty much the same thing happened to me. I was going to get out and do I give up, but the guy kind of threw me around. But anyway, my parents were out of town. They were going to be back that night, so they couldn't call anybody, so they put us in lockup, waiting on our parents to get home. And so they just put a note on my on my door. The sheriff's department is that you need to call the sheriff's department as soon as you get in. And okay, my dad's truck's not there. They're coming in from out of town, so they're thinking all these things. And yeah, we got.
Was that the time you get the switch without getting?
No, that was just one of the worst things that ever happened to me in my life.
You got the.
We used to have to go cut our own switches.
I've done it.
Yeah, okay, and there ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But my dad one time my 3 older brothers were in trouble, and he told me to go get a switch for them. So I go down and I bring back this
huge one.
switch of a lifetime.
Oh God.
I mean, it sounded like, a lightsaber when you swung it. It was big around, came to, it was a hickory because you knew you had to get hickory switches. You didn't bring anything else up. You went down and found a hickory switch out in the woods. And this thing, I'll never forget, I come walking in, I'm like, here, Dad. And he goes, you think this is funny? Bend over. And he beat my butt and did not whip my brothers.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then another one was like he got in trouble at school when he came home. And the whole day, pretty much, my grandpa would just, Terry, come in here.
Yeah. It was the whooping I never got was the worst whooping I got.
Go give me a beer. Go give me a drink.
He never said beer. My dad didn't drink.
Whatever. I think I said that.
He would call me, I was hiding in my room being real quiet, and he'd call me, Terry, come in there. Yeah. And he would holler like he was mad. Give me a glass of tea. And 10 minutes later,
It's genius.
Terry! And I would come in there. Will you change the channel on the TV? I'm like, whew, and finally after about, 2 hours of that, he hollered at me. He goes, you think I forgot, didn't you? And I was like, but he didn't give me a whooping. It was just the agony of.
That's genius.
He did to me once. That wasn't a fun experience.
Rob?
I picked a switch once. It wasn't that bad. Matter of fact, I found it to be, downright nothing.
We had a paddle. We had a paddle because I guess my brother and sister, they broke the parents' bed, younger, so we had like a legit wooden paddle.
So, Rob, yours.
My turn?
Yep.
So I think the most disappointed that my dad ever was in me was I was 13, and at 13 in Mangum, I was driving. So we found somebody to buy us some beer, and, man, it was like the first time I think, that we were ever drinking. And we had like 6 left over. Well, it was like gold,
Yeah.
Like I'm protecting these. And so we had a little ice chest that I snuck it into my bedroom and like put a bunch of pillows over it so nobody would find it. Well, my mom found it. So my dad came home. This was during the summer. My dad came home at lunchtime. And I was like, hey, Dad. He walked right past me, didn't say anything. I was like, oh, this is not good. So I followed him, walked right into my room, uncovered the ice chest. He turned around. He hit me so hard that I flew on top of a desk.
Dang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was bad.
Yeah. Well, my brother, when I got arrested, kind of saying there was beer involved. Okay. But my brother didn't know when to keep his mouth shut. Okay. A lot of the times. And if you argued with my dad, it just made it worse. Okay. Or talk back. Mm-hmm. And my dad was disabled, only had one arm. Okay. Use of one arm. And there was a beating going on. We had a den and a living room, and there was a beating of a lifetime going on in the living room. And my brother, I would just hear him. He would, my dad would say something, and he would start smarting off again, and then you just hear stuff crashing, and and I'm, he's 16, I'm like 12, 13, and I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, I'm next. Oh my God, I'm next. And finally, my brother comes walking through the den. His nose is bleeding. He's all red. His shirt's like tore, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm fixing to die. And my dad came in there and he sat down. He was breathing hard and he was like, well, what do you have to say for yourself? And I just went, I'm sorry. It was stupid. And he, we kind of talked there for a second, and he was like, go to bed. And I was like, I went in there.
That reminds me one time I got whoopings from my mom, and I was crying, and walking in the bedroom. My sister, brother sitting there, and I walked in and I started laughing because they heard it all. Sure enough, my
Teresa
mom
was standing behind him.
Oh, they heard it all, did it? And she grabbed me and took me there. I used to always hide books in my butt to try to do that. Never worked.
Never worked. My mom was always too small. Yeah. She would just say, hey, wait till your dad gets home. Okay.
Dad said Megan was the most mad you ever
No, we got to shut it down.
I was saying, what are we at, 2 hours?
Yeah.
It's a good one. It's good to...
I hit it.
Well, we appreciate everybody tuning in and listening to our little bit of football and a whole bunch of everything else.
Yeah.
So
it's a different one.
Remember to follow us on Facebook and Twitter.
Unsubscribe, resubscribe. Yeah. Just keep doing it back and forth.
Boomer Rob.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer
Casey.
Boomer, guys.
Let's go it, people! Both teams are trying very hard!
What the hell's wrong with you? Stop acting like a damn cheerleader. Sportsmanship, try it. Shut up.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Sooner Football Fans Podcast is hosted by Rob Mixon, Terry Long, and occasionally Caleb Long. It is produced at the beautiful Podcast Palace in Norman, Oklahoma. Follow us on Twitter at SoonerFBFans and like our Facebook page at Facebook.com/Sooner Football Fans, and visit our website at www.SoonerFootballFans.com to read our blogs and keep up with our tailgating activities. Boomer Sooner, everyone.